Turns out a bit more sleepy than initially expected because I slept through my goddamn alarm.
Mm. I figured something like that would happen to at least one person. It happens too frequently to be ignored. Oh, Jake was telling us about the wild Ni no Kuni 2.
Yeah, did you see the intro of that at all, Peyton?
Ni no Kuni 2?
Yeah, did you see him playing the first one at all?
No.
I guess we'll never know.
I said no.
No. Tragic.
Discord's just dedicated to censoring.
Yep.
Well, Ni no Kuni 1 was like super lame to the point where Ham was watching it and I was just like, or Ham was playing it and I was just like, I'm so fucking glad I'm not the one playing this game. It looks like misery to play. The characters, like, I don't care about any of them. They're all so lame. And so then Ham's like, well, you know what? I like the story at least, so I'm gonna play Ni no Kuni 2. And we're like, great, go for it. And he starts streaming Ni no Kuni 2, and it's batshit insane. The main character of the first Ni no Kuni is like a 12-year-old boy who's super boring, and the main character of the second Ni no Kuni is the President of America. So, right off the bat, we've got a huge improvement. Oh my god, it's so fucking nuts.
Hey, babe.
Hmm?
I said, hey, babe.
Howdy.
Oh, what other game was I watching Ham play through? Yeah, that's some game. Oh, it's good.
Close, Octopath.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I thought I saw him playing through that.
They're like similar enough. In that they're JRPG that Jake loves. JRPG that Jake loves and won't shut up about the soundtrack for. But like,
I think it has something to do with having good soundtrack.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculously good. It's crazy.
Yeah. I liked the, what is it, Bravely Default, I think.
Bravely Default.
That's the only one of the, yeah, that's the only one of the, I think 3 games now that they've made.
Yep, the third one titled Bravely Default 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, that makes sense. It does make sense, but you have to explain it, which means it's a bad name.
I'm curious, why is the third one too?
There's Bravely Default, and then Bravely Second came out, which was the second one. And everyone figured, oh, Bravely Third will be the third one. But they went Bravely Default 2 because it's just an entirely new world that isn't connected to the first two at all. So it's a sequel, but not really a sequel. It's only a sequel in the fact that it plays the same way as Bravely Default. So they just went, yep, it's the second one. And we're like, oh, okay.
Good.
I think it was stupid to name it that way, but you know what? They
If
can
they
do what
make
they want.
another game in that one, will they make it Bravely Second too?
I don't know, but I hope so, because I think it'd be really funny if they did that.
I mean, surely that's just like a translation thing, right? Like it made more sense in the other languages conventions, and then when you went to English, people were like, huh?
Maybe? I don't think so, though.
I mean, we've had that, at least in English games, freaking all over the place too, so.
Yeah, but like, it is also, like, it's an outlier, for sure.
I'd have to look. I don't know. Considering I think Bravely Default's, what, is the Japanese developer?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know for certain, but it's the easiest one to guess, just based on.
No, the composer is
Stronger
not
one.
from America or anything, so.
mean, it's got a anime art style, so.
You popping off about War Thunder or what? Dio must have actually done something real good because Dio never pops off.
Really that crazy. It was just like I real close to the wall, killing me, and just ran into
Oh. thing I will note about Brave Default is that it's ruining my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, whenever I launch my Switch, I go, ooh, let's play some Bravely Default. Which means I'm a little rusty at Tetris. Like, I finally decided I just wanted to play a game of Tetris real quick. And I think I feel so slow.
Well, out of practice.
Parsley's on a rampage.
Do you guys ever, like, watch something, like a show or something, and while you're in the process of watching it, you're like, holy fuck, this show is so horrifically bad, why am I watching it?
I had that experience watching Teen Wolf.
It sounds like.
Yeah, I don't seek them out.
You should watch Teen Wolf, Theo. It's about a high school lacrosse player who becomes a werewolf.
You know, that just the concept sounds awful.
It was put out by and actually it was
It sounds like one of those Disney shows.
it was put out by MTV.
Good start.
Oh.
It sounds like
Really?
it has, like coming of age vibes, and that's just a genre that I detest with all my heart.
It's because it's not well done a lot.
Oh yeah, no, there's like this.
You
cool-
can do it well. It's not something that's very well done often, though.
There's like this cool mentor werewolf who just gets fucked up every episode. The main character has to save him. You know, classic stuff.
See, because the show I was talking about or vague posting about, I suppose we could call it, was I don't know if you guys watched Ruby at all. Holy fuck, that show is awful. But like,
Yeah,
I've
There's
watched so
actually
many.
a person that's been he's been rewriting the show to make it make more sense. And I
I've
like
been,
the rewriting better than I like the actual show.
Like, the thing is, I'm so many seasons in at this point that I'm like, well, I gotta watch it. And so I watched some of the episodes today because I was like halfway through the most recent season. I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna watch them because I got some time. I'm just gonna watch it. I'm like, holy fuck.
Don't worry, you will not have spoiled anything. If I went and watched up through season 2 and then went, this show is terrible, why am I watching it? Stop.
It's so
the
it's so
exact
crazy.
Same thing. No,
It's so crazy about because the thing is though, like, on paper, the world itself is pretty cool.
yeah.
I was hoping that they'd improve as writers, but it's like they don't know who their characters are. It's crazy.
Yep.
Nothing anyone does ever makes sense. They don't know how to fight to their like best ability. It feels like from season like 3 onwards, none of the characters have grown. It's absolutely absurd.
Yep.
They hit us with my favorite thing that you can do in a TV show, which is the main villain. They ask this genie thing that can answer any question like completely truthfully, and they go, "Hey, how do we beat the main villain?" And the person goes, "You can't, Lamau." It's like, what do you mean?
like that. That's hilarious.
Cut to 10 seasons later, they get to the villain, just get bodied and killed, and the genie was like, well, I mean, I tried to warn them.
Well, the thing is, they already fought the main villain once. It was very recently. Like it was, I
Now
saw
you
it today.
lose.
Didn't one of the original creators, like, die, though?
Yeah, the guy who came up with the entire world died. He had plans up to like I think season 5,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
adds up.
This is that
by the
person
way.
who's rewriting it, making the story and world make a little more sense. Just
It's
fun
not
to
even-
watch in a while.
It's just like so dumb.
Yeah, the characters need more work, but
I like a lot of shows that are, like, fantastical in some way, school settings, because it's a great format for, like, a lot of the things that are cool in fantasy shows. Like, oh, combat's sick, you can just put them as trials, like, interesting challenges or whatever. And you also, like, have a lot of characters in, like, a confined space. There's a lot of room for, like, drama and whatnot. And, like, interpersonal conflict and all these things you would need to drive a story. So, like, I see that kind of setting and I'm like, okay, cool, it's gonna be kind of good. But sometimes it's also not.
Yes. Yes. I will say there was a point in there where I was like, damn, this show actually could be good if they do the right stuff here, because they blow up the school, which is great.
Yeah.
And like it's like it should get cooler after that, and then somehow it doesn't. It somehow just slowly gets worse and worse as you descend into madness, hoping that the show will get better.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that's good about the school setting, especially for writers who are, like, kind of shaky, or they don't want to put a ton of their effort into the actual story beats, is it, like, provides the writers with good structure for, like, when things happen, which is, like, super easy to, like, plug in plot points. And then you blow up the school, it's like, okay, cool, it allows what you've already built to, like, expand. But it also means that, like, you can't depend upon that, like, pre-built structure to, like, arc your things, and you have to do that yourself. And I don't think they did that very well.
No, but it's so horrific. But it is crazy, because it's a very interesting look at just from a pure, like, experimental standpoint. How they really said, what if we made a show about 4 girls that are around high school age and they have to go beat up bad guys, and everyone's like, yup, we want to watch that, and it became popular with terrible writing. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. But man, I was like dying laughing watching it today. Holy moly. Because that thing, I can enjoy it because it is so badly written that I can laugh at it.
Yeah. I had a lot of trouble staying immersed during the fights because I think the animation is real shaky. Especially
To be fair, the animation does improve per season. It does just get better.
fair enough. Like early on, I had so much trouble getting into it, and then when I finally did get into it, is that there's a payoff.
No, there's no payoff. It's fucking hilarious though.
Except for when that shit had me rolling.
Oh yeah, she came back to life. Don't worry.
Oh,
Yep, she came back to life because it turns out the guy who made her uses his own like soul to make her, and he had enough of it for a second one. But seeing as how none of you are gonna watch it, she actually died again last episode. So she gets infected by this villain who can like hack into things. He puts a virus in her that tells her to go to this place, open a door, and blow up. That's the story, because she becomes one of the maidens, which is very important because they can open the vaults, and so they want to have her open the vault and then blow up so that someone else will get the maiden powers. But what ends up happening is the main characters, they go to the vault, and then they get the staff of creation and have him create a new body with the robotic parts, so that her soul creates its own body, and it's just a human body. And it's like, oh, okay, they loophole it, and then she gets killed immediately, and it's hilarious.
because like a lot of the characters are gender bent, like pre-existing fictional character, and Penny was like Pinocchio, So they're like, okay, so we're gonna fit in the beat where she's like a real girl, and then she gets to live that for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's like it was so fucking funny. It's really
That
funny
was my
because
favorite part in Pinocchio when Pinocchio became a real boy and then just got shot in the face.
it's also really funny because like they have this like perfect plan and everything is going like perfectly well, and then like 2 bad guys show up and it's like 1v9. It's fucking nuts. Because you have Cinder. Cinder becomes the Fall Maiden.
Okay.
So she's bad news, except she's the most useless villain ever. She loses every time she shows up. She gets absolutely ass blasted every time she fights.
That's not true. There was one time when she won.
That's true. There's one time she won, and it was last episode. She kind of started going hamburgers. She went from being useless piece of garbage villain to literally like 1v5ing. It was crazy. All 4 of the main characters and Penny, who is the Winter Maiden at this point, are fighting her, and they lose. Because she's accompanied by the most OP villain out there, which is that heterochromatic girl with the umbrella named Neo.
Mm-hmm.
She has a 100% fight win rate. I swear to God, she has never lost.
No, she lost once.
She in an actual fight, she has never lost. It's crazy. So she shows up and she starts whooping ass. And all the main characters get thrown because they're in this like world between worlds at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And when they made this world, the dude who made it, because he was the spirit of the staff of creation, he said, "Hey, no matter what you do, don't fall." And they're okay, we won't fall. So naturally, all 4 of the main characters fell. And I think they were supposed to be like, "Oh, that's death." Well, obviously, you can't kill all 4 of the main characters. So now we're just in a really stupid situation.
The secret treasure room that you can only get to by, being willing to disobey.
The problem is, I'm so like, I wouldn't say I'm invested, but I kind of am. Like, I'm a little invested in the fact that like I have to see how the hell they end this show. Because as things currently stand, we've got a very interesting sort of sequence of events that goes down with like every arc, which is main characters show up to place with a vault. Main characters get their asses beat, lose everything they gained at that they could have gained at that vault, and then go to the next fight.
You'd think they come with a different plan at some point.
They just get fucked up literally every time.
So you know how in Dragon Ball, the bad guy was like, "We'll let the heroes collect the Dragon Balls, and then we'll take them," right? So this sounds like as if that plan worked, and then the heroes were like, "We'll try the next MacGuffin," and then the villain's like, "All right, but I'm stronger now, and so I'll take that as well," and they're like, next one."
The thing is, this show's crazy because like no one has gotten stronger. They've just remained at the same strength for the entire time, which means that fucking there's like 2 characters who started out and they're nuts at fighting, and they're still just like the best. Like you can't beat them. They're just too good.
Well, that's what happens when you leave school, kids.
You stop learning.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely crazy. And there are some very, very stupid fights though. Like Weiss, she, objectively speaking, should be the most broken character of the entire main characters. Her semblance does everything. It does everything. She can like enhance gravity, launch spikes, launch fire, launch anything she wants, block bullets. It's like she's so broken, and she is the shittiest fighter of all time. She loses every fight because she just doesn't use any of her abilities. So it's like, what the fuck? One of her abilities literally like slows down time for people. It's like, what do you mean she just loses? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Oh my god. It is so funny. It is, oh my god, I cannot wait for the next season.
Maybe they'll start learning the Naruto talk jutsu, which is you get your ass beat and then you talk to the bad guy and they're like, oh, Naruto's right. I should totally switch sides.
I mean, well, this season they actually did convince somebody. They actually convinced multiple people to switch sides. One of them
Oh
died.
my god, they're learning.
One of them died. I mean, to be fair, the ones that they switched sides, they were built up to switch sides. I will give them that. It was the fact they were evil in the first place was kind of dumb, but that's okay.
It's okay. It
Yeah,
happens.
that's
It
okay.
happens.
Shit happens.
So, you guys want to say your things? Or have you already looked at them enough?
I see.
I see.
Hey, I have great respect for only good blacksmiths.
Because being a blacksmith, yeah, a
No,
bad
I'm
blacksmith
saying you
isn't
should have-
difficult.
You should just have good respect for the good ones and great respect for the great
Nope.
ones.
It is me, Blood Bugs.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
So, do you guys remember what was going on?
We're fighting crime.
I don't think that's true at all.
We're doing crime,
I don't think that's true either.
fighting drugs.
Fighting drugs.
Also, don't think that's true. I don't think we've interacted with like drugs at all, except for alcohol.
There were those filthy orange chemical weapons that they made us
That's
eat
true.
on that boat.
I'm hearing.
Actually, I'm
we don't
actually-
remember what was going on.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm a little fuzzy actually on the specifics.
So, you guys were trying to track down the Watcher. Ended up basically not catching up to it.
Turns out he can move very fast.
Yeah.
Shit.
Ended up in a settlement known as Thur-Iron, which was one of the settlements that it was directly traveling through.
Right. I remember that actually.
And so you were
So-
trying to see if anyone in town had seen the thing as it was moving through.
Mm.
And so far, it's no one.
Did we check for people seeing our friend, what's his face? Or are we just asking for like a spooky thing?
Got aid from the one lady.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for my grandson.
Yeah. The records keeper was looking into it for you.
Someone was not pleased about looking for a grandson.
Must be
Wait, they're looking for the grandson? That was a while ago now.
Peyton hates grandkids.
Yeah, Lumpy said it's
We're
called.
not looking for grandson.
That was on a different continent.
Crazy what sticks with you. I remember that woman, and she wanted to find her grandson.
I wanted to find the grandson too.
Yeah.
So I believe, if I remember correctly, Oyeko was trying to get some connections with the demons of the city to see if they knew anything, and Uwe was tracking down the town guard to see if they had learned anything, and currently had been able to get their records keeper to look into it.
Johnny's so straightforward. He'd look on the other side of the city, in a line with where we've been going, to see if there are also tracks.
It rained. There won't be tracks.
I said what Johnny is doing. I did not say that Johnny constructed an airtight plan.
I mean, to be fair, it's still somewhat raining. It hasn't stopped. It's just not raining as hard as it was.
Alright, fair enough. Got it.
Wow. Yep. So at least Guve was waiting on the records keeper to chat with her about it.
Oh, Johnny did say he'd want to talk to his sword, right?
Mm-hmm. But you haven't found any birds so it can talk.
Yeah. I guess Johnny would go looking for like a pet shop.
A pet shop.
Yeah. See if
And what
they sell,
about-
like parakeets?
What about Mo and... I guess, what are you all doing, considering Guve has something going on, but has some time to kill before that comes about. Unless you're just going to hang out at the barracks and chat with the soldiers and not do anything.
I think I did have a plan of what to do, but over the course of the week, I've lost it.
And I believe I was
So I guess I'm
look-
just gonna hang out the fucking barracks now.
I believe I was looking for the party at this point because my quest to find any actual demons that would be helpful kind of failed.
Mm-hmm. Alright, and where is the rest of the party? Other than, I guess, Guve, because Guve is now at the barracks.
I guess Johnny would unironically walk to a pet shop and try and find a bird for sale, if there is one.
Is Mo still? Are you with Johnny still? I think you were following him around.
One of those is
I just
Johnny.
wandering around. You guys are able to at least sync up between the three of you.
Yeah, what is Johnny's last name?
Oh,
Yes, sir, let's go.
Carney.
Damn good.
Yep.
No.
I mean, this is a campaign I remember everyone's first name.
I mean, I would hope
Yes.
so. You'll get to hear them a lot.
Also, given the fact that you can just look at the fucking map.
They're just there. So, yep. Are you asking for like any specific pet shop, or are you just asking point toward nearest pet shop? And
Yeah,
whom are you asking?
Nearest-
Guards or normal civilians?
Unless I see anyone with an animal, I would probably just ask like tavern keeper. I guess.
All right. Yeah, I think you guys already had purchased rooms at the tavern.
Maybe
here.
instead of asking for pets, I would ask for like,
Yeah, Stag and Pine.
yeah, like hunting companions. I don't know. I'd ask for all sorts of permutations of bird acquisition.
Mm, no. There's only 2 locations where you can get guns, and one of them is much more gun than the other.
If that doesn't work,
Most-
use a little more gun.
It's a touch,
I mean,
just in case.
the
you get
tavern
easy
keeper
back.
can easily point you towards the Wobbly Goblin, who has a stable. Therefore, they do sell horses. It's not their primary trade, but it's something you can do. Not everyone remembers to bring them out. But other than that, the only person that he can think of that's like relatively nearby is owned by a man named Gat, and simply named Gat's Corral.
I guess I'd go there. And the city's not on, or the settlement rather, isn't on water anywhere. Is it like on a river?
No.
See? Okay. Well, I'll keep my eyes peeled for birds.
At some point, I should just bring the map in. But you guys are traveling from the 10 followers down to Arathia. Arathia it has a lot of it that's on the water. but you guys are still kind of in the outer reaches of the land-based Arathia.
I didn't know if there were like rivers or anything.
I mean, there's always a river, but there's not a massive one. It's just a
Gotcha.
kind of a smaller one.
I was just thinking I might get lucky and find some like waterfowl somewhere.
I mean, you can go out of the city and find animals. They'll be more common out there.
Yeah, I'll just go out too.
Get out there.
It's just not safe outside.
Yeah. So the barkeep is able to give you at least good enough directions to get you in the right area for Gats. It's not exactly his like main people to send to. So it's mostly just kind of other hunters and people that he knows that have gone to him at one time or another. But after wandering around in that area for a short time, you guys are all able to hook up, minus, of course, Guve, and make your way to the pet shop, which is not a... Well, it's kind of at, like, the very edge of the city, kind of connecting up to a small park, effectively. It's not... It doesn't look like it's being used for a park, but it's trees and grass in a city, so... Or at least in a major settlement. Because most of the settlement is cobblestone. But the shop itself has a fairly small one-story building made out of rather shoddy-looking constructed... shoddy-looking building made of wood, effectively. With a small paddock next door. And I say small, but really it's like... At least floor plan-wise, triple the size of the building. And you do see animals out there, mostly equine sorts, no birds, but...
I'll still inquire.
Yep.
Because
Are you walking
area.
walking into the building or walking up to the fence? Because there are some people wandering around the paddock area.
Yeah, fuck it, walk up to the fence.
Yep. No one's standing like directly next to the fence, but
Citizens, it is I. Come to your
Well,
shop, seeking aliens.
yeah. One of them jogs over and nods to you. You'll be seeking Cat then? And just points at the shop. He's the one that deals with all the smaller beasts.
Alright. I shall. What's he look like?
Rough. Mustache. He doesn't like to say it, but little hair. He's dressed up in fairly fine clothes for the establishment. He's the one behind the counter, most likely.
Alright. Thank you for your assistance.
He jogs away from the fence to go continue doing what he was doing before.
Walk
So, stepping into the shop, it is very loud, as many different animals and other creatures seem to be not particularly happy that they're in small cages. Hooting, barking, etc. The building itself, while small, is packed. And with, like, most of the center of the shop is dominated by a big, a large, heavy table with stout legs built to hold a very, like, just a single large crate that has some sort of large furry creature in it. It's hard to tell what it is because it's kind of curled up. It's Sonic. But big, dark furred. But it seems to be asleep or at least curled up into a ball, so it's hard to tell exactly what it is. It looks vaguely canine.
It's very dead.
The rest of the shop is covered in much smaller cages. either puppies or kittens and the like, along with, of course, all manner of different kinds of birds. Are you calling, or are you just picking your way through to get to the
I'll
area
take
and
over
back?
towards the counter. And
Mhm.
ask for Kev.
I'm just watching Johnny do this.
Yeah, walking around the the big container, you see the back counter, and after kind of moving your way through it, picking through some of the crates that have fallen to the floor, after most likely the animal made a spirited attempt to escape and being in a cage failed, you're able to see a fairly rotund man, big bushy mustache, small beady eyes. Does have a nice hat though, and his garb is at least fine. Probably would help if the shop, didn't smell like animals. He's currently just counting a coin count. He does not greet you, if you're wondering.
Oh yeah, Yako's just here to see what the hell Johnny's doing, really.
Greetings, Carl. It's me, Johnny Vanguard. I seek an avian.
Johnny Vanguard sets the coin box down. That's not one I know. Seek an avian? A bird, right? What kind of bird?
Well,
Kind of stands from the stool. Kind of entirely jiggles.
well, I can be flexible. I was looking for perhaps a crow, something intelligent that I can train.
Well, do you want a real crow, or do you want one of them broken ones? He steps around the counter and starts moving in the direction of the small area of birds, who all kind of shirk back from the edge of their cages, and the more bold ones push forward,
You
stabbing
like
beaks
me,
and
sir.
claws
What
talons
is a-
through.
What is a broken crow?
It's one of those talking ones. You haven't seen any of them? Good. You don't want one. I do have one in stock. A little lighter. Loves to peck at my customers. No chance.
Well, can't help but my curiosity is piqued. May I observe this feathered thing?
Of course. I'd love to get him out of my shop. If I didn't know any better, I would say it was planning a rebellion with the other birds. He pulls a leather glove out of one of his pockets, wraps it around his hand, and jerks one of the cages out of the pile. Where
Does he put it on?
no, he does put it on.
Oh, you said you wrapped it around his hand.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I did not picture that meaning put it on. I was like how people wrap a scarf around or like a cloth around their hand when they're like
No.
trying to pick up something hot. I'm like, why doesn't he just put the glove on? Sorry, man.
No, but he pulls out, and indeed there is a black crow inside the cage. It is not squawking or attacking him. It just kind of hangs on one of the bars that's just kind of turned.
Hello, bird. It's me, Johnny Vanguard.
The bird just looks at you. It doesn't squawk or say anything if it can. Its eyes are, rather than kind of the usual crow kind of blacks and browns, are indeed red, however, which does make it a little more, well, unnerving. This is the one. Troublemaker is going to cost me a fortune if I think it's doing what it's really doing. He shakes the cage, the bird not really able to cling to the bar. The force just kind of gets bounced back and forth. Come on, I know you can speak. Won't make me a fool out of me. Bird seems to kind of.
Oh, I don't have to make a fool out of you. You do that yourself.
Yeah. The bird does not speak, but after kind of ruffling its feathers back into a more flight shape, does at least throw a glance in his direction before looking back at you, Johnny. And it does at least kind of do a half bow, pushing one of its wings forward and ducking its head slightly before kind of standing back upright. Then just kind of looks back up at him, obviously angry.
This
Well.
creature's delight. How
Well.
much?
I really would rather have it off my hands, but it is a nice, strange specimen. Well, I can let him go for, let's say, 5 gold pieces.
A singular corn chip.
This avian, from what I've heard, has given you no small amount of trouble over the years. Years? Weeks? Whatever. Forget the names for things. Regardless, I would see your long effort and investment paid off. I will offer you a platinum for this creature.
He just kind of looks at you, and then just starts to laugh. I'll take a platinum for it. That's a nice tip.
What does it eat?
I would assume normal crow things. Seeds, and if you can get it, any sort of carrion.
Alright, we also sell seeds.
Do indeed. For a platinum, I'll throw in a few days' worth of food for it.
You're too kind.
Sure.
I will speak of you as I travel. Perhaps when someone swings through, you'll find yourself an extra customer.
Oh, that's mighty nice of you. He just kind of sidles back towards the counter.
Are you the shopkeep that Johnny Vanguard was talking about? Yeah? Alright, get him, boys.
He sets the thing down a lot more carefully than he pushed it, like pulled it out of the pile.
Well,
Even
it's
setting
never
it
paid for.
upright. And then goes behind the counter to start pulling out a couple of bags of seed, setting them nearby. And he just kind of waits for you to pay behind the counter.
Yeah, no, I pull out a platinum. Slide it over.
He takes it. You hear it drop into the box of the clink. I thank you for your business. And yeah, I'll hopefully see more customers. Safe journey to you.
And you. Should you journey, and if not, may
Oh, no. he did the enjoy your meal thing.
have a good one.
Johnny, for the first time in multiple years, somehow feels regret.
What? No, that was hilarious.
Yep. So you scoop up the bird and the bird cage and seed and exit the shop. Yep, you now have bird.
Bird get.
No.
I'm guessing Mo and if Jake is back or Yeko aren't going to attempt to buy anything from that shop.
I like how your solution was to go buy a bird instead of just waiting for birds to come to you. Despite the fact for the past few days, birds have just been following us around randomly
Yep.
for significant amounts of time and landing on you specifically. You could just fucking grabbed one.
Or just walked outside the settlement, because they haven't been doing that inside the settlement.
And
Do you
it's
see
too.
do you see the way this one's bowed?
No, because I'm not there.
This is Payton's commentary,
Yes.
not
It's form
Griffith's
that
commentary.
its form was so practiced. I couldn't help it.
Had a lot of poo and only a little time, so.
I got
Yeah.
plenty of time.
Well,
Johnny now has a red-eyed crow that apparently can bow and talk. That has not shown the second trait so
I've
far.
been told it can talk. I saw it bow, and it was, man, its form was so good.
Party is acquiring more demons by the day.
There's no chance this guy could have just taught it to bow, and then pretended it could talk.
Here's the
What are you
thing.
talking
That's
about?
entirely
Red
possible.
eye contact.
However,
Pop out.
however, this is Mitchell.
It just paints his eyes red.
I can't see. Bird's blind as fuck. His eyes have been painted over.
And fun fact, crows actually can speak. They're like parrots in that way. They just don't generally learn how to do it because it requires being around humans.
Crows are fucking sick.
Yeah. But of course, the average medieval person probably wouldn't know that trait was a natural one that crows have.
Yeah. Average medieval person hears a crow speak and goes, "Ah,
Magic!
kill."
It's burning time.
But, I mean, stepping out of the shop with it, it continues to not talk or really do anything other than kind of shake its feathers off from the rain.
Revolution Pro.
You can bow, you can talk.
Although talking birds for you, Johnny, is not a surprising thing.
It's neat. It can talk and didn't try and attack me. It's great.
And then starts attacking you.
Waiting for me to fall asleep.
It hasn't really had the opportunity. It's in the cage. You're wearing gauntlets.
I mean, to be fair, metal hasn't stopped the rest of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I also have this bag of seeds that I filled with eat. I asked him what it ate, and he said normal crow things.
So I don't think he's selling things.
Normal crow things, human hearts and eyes mainly.
Yep. But it's just kind of sitting in the cage. It is not interacting with you at this point.
Hello, bird. My name is Johnny Vanguard. You have a name?
Just kind of unfurls, looks up at you, cocks its head, just clocks. Johnny!
Why not have the same name as you?
My God.
What are the odds?
What are the odds? Indeed, it's meant to be. Well, that's a name I can remember. And maybe no sword needs to say anything of import. The bird on hand, it can be used without needing to press gang local wildlife.
Your sword will continuously press gang local wildlife. Until the end of the campaign.
Just to annoy you.
It'll be very funny.
But, I mean, it doesn't seem like the sword is talking to the crow at this point. As the crow is just kind of continuing to sit in this cage. What do?
Bird does land on your shoulder.
No, they haven't been doing that since you guys made it closer to the city.
Before red-eyed crows start flying around you.
Oh, it must be teleporting me. Eats.
Teleports you just 200 feet up in the air.
Solitary will rise.
Get shit, bitch.
Blue feather workers, unite. You have nothing to lose but your cage.
Yep. You now have Crow.
No, it's got a name, Mitchell. But honestly, part of me just says keep going in a straight line. We will eventually get to where it went. For sure.
So, going to go try and track down Guve? Or just continuing to follow the lines you guys can totally follow without Guve when you're not entirely sure where that line is?
Oh, we're
Listen,
definitely gonna
I
look
have trust in them. It'll be fun.
for- No,
I
but
trust that this will be very amusing.
I technically have survival.
Yep.
technically do too.
The problem is you're not actually tracking anything. You're just hoping you refine the imaginary line that you were following.
It's true. Well, no, I would definitely want to find Guve.
Well, are you looking for her?
Wherever she is.
Well,
can
where
just
does
let-
Johnny think she
That's
is?
some good tech.
Hmm.
Unfortunately,
I didn't think of that
Guve
one.
is not able to tell you where she is.
I'm gonna, rather than just try to look for Guve with them, I'm just gonna split off and kind of like this. This is a pretty small town, right?
I mean, it's larger than most of the settlements you guys have been in so far. I think Lexington and Twin Oaks are probably about the same size, if not a little smaller.
In that case, yeah, Oyek will just kind of wander around. Nowhere in particular in mind.
Yep.
They would probably be around the guards and soldiers, because that's where Give was the whole time we were in Lexington.
No, not Lexington.
Oh,
Concord is the one.
Concord?
Yeah.
I think that's where Give likes to hang out, so I would probably click there. To the inn. But I didn't give a hang out at the barracks the whole time we were in Concord. We'll try the inn first. Maybe like drink a little bit, and then if we remember, we will go to the barracks.
So going back to the inn you guys are staying at, or just to the nearest inn?
Surely, if we were hanging out at any inn, it would be the one we were staying at, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we go.
Yep. You guys return back to the inn you were staying at. Stag and Pine barkeep kind of waves you as you come back in. Fine cats. Pet shop.
Hold up, bird.
Ugh. Good. If they did that, they'd have no rangers.
Who needs them?
They
Well,
just
it's not
brewed-
no rangers. You just lose a very significant subset of them.
Rangers just brewed in the corner, sipping a single drink all night.
Rangers just come in with mysteriously lumpy coats.
A bin. No time
No,
to pay.
it's just every ranger with an animal companion just goes, "Oh, okay. I'll be right back," and they come with this suspiciously lumpy coat.
Yeah. I'm picturing them trying to
They're just covered in blood.
like, cram all their animal companions into the same bin.
Well, this
Bin for animal companions.
particular tavern
Damn
does
it.
not have it.
Beats me, man. It's like trying to close a suitcase after you've shoved too many coats in. You know?
Well, there is no Guve here.
Check the bins.
We should let our animal companion in for himself in the bin.
What's Give's animal companion? I didn't even know rangers had
Loud
those,
and it barks.
because the only other ranger I know is Cook, and I don't think he is an animal companion either. I don't know. Have you met many rangers?
How many of them had animal companions? 0.
Yep. You need to make sure you had those extra rations traveling around.
This is true. Well, yeah, but like, if you have
The
animal
living
companions
fridge.
and you're traveling around and you're using them for extra rations, isn't that a like net nothing? Because although you have extra rations, they're gonna be taking more rations as well.
Yeah, but they don't eat the same thing people eat. So it's
Some
not direct
do.
competition.
Like
If it's
wolves
like-
do.
Okay,
If
sure,
you're
but it's
hunting,
like-
they eat the same things.
Yeah, our animal companions were moles, so
I don't know what
Moles
the
eat
fuck
dirt.
moles eat.
They eat dirt.
That is not true. I know that isn't true.
They chew their way through the earth.
No, they dig their way.
No.
You're thinking of
They-
worms.
No, they scrape and lick. Like a vampire bat.
damn it.
Gotta make sure the dirt is bleeding right.
Yeah.
Alright, so apparently moles feed on insects, pests, pests, grubs, and soil organisms.
At all these inns, Mo's been like, where's their bin? Fucking savages don't have their bins. They just have this one for trash and this one for recycling.
Recycling.
Place is not recycling.
I'm starting to slur. It's that time of night. I know it's only 8:30.
What the
What?
fuck? Hello?
I know it's only 8:30, but I've had a long week.
That time of night.
You don't have a time of night
Grandpa
where you
time.
start to like.
It's
slur.
that time of night, like 2 to 3 hours ahead of time.
Well, no, it's like I
God, you
I
really should have
slowly-
taken your 38-minute power nap.
I slowly start speaking with less and less of my actual mouth, and so words start getting slurred.
What the Huh?
Does your body just slowly Novocaine your mouth over
I'm only
time?
talking out the right side.
Love it. I don't think that's being tired, buddy. You might need to get that checked out.
You ever get so tired you start smelling toast?
No. Is it burnt toast?
As opposed to the unburnt kind? That's just bread, Peyton.
What? Not all toast is burnt.
I mean, personally, burnt toast, regular toast, and bread smells the same to me.
Must mean everything smells
think
the
there
same to you. A fucking rotting corpse smells like bread to you.
If you
Yeah.
start smelling anything, Jake, just assume it's a scrub.
True.
If I ever start smelling anything, I'll be too busy popping off, but being able to smell something, I'll just like,
Yep.
let's go, and then
It's gonna be real hard to be popping off when you can't control the left half of your body.
I'll have a right half pop off.
That's true.
50% popping off.
Let's go.
Your right half will be popping off enough for the left half.
Yep, no Guve here.
I met this really cool guy who had like a smirk on his face all the time. And he was just the coolest guy. And eventually I told him, "You're so cool because you're always got that half grin." He's like, "I'm a stroke survivor." I was like, Sorry.
I'm all the things to risk saying as a compliment, why would you go for the half brim?
Yeah, that.
Because we were making jack-o'-lanterns, and I made mine look like him.
So you made your check like look like a stroke survivor.
Yeah, not on purpose. I thought it was cool. I was like, this is a cool pumpkin. And he's like, how's it cool? And I was like, he's got the little smirky at here. And he's like, basically like, I can't move that. And I was like, oh.
I don't have that by choice, you know. Oh.
I mean, but it's a good thing it's cool, right?
Yeah, I mean, you think it's real cool.
Listen, let's move on. Johnny might not have regrets, but Jacob does.
So, there is no Bouvet though. Do you need time to think of where Bouvet might be?
After the end, yeah.
Sure.
Also, just
But
completely
I
ignored
don't
the
think-
fact that before I left for the barracks, I said I was going there to check with them.
Johnny doesn't do that.
Yeah, I fucking gathered.
Maybe
So-
Johnny did, but like, user error, you know?
No. Jacob error, please assist.
No.
So, you guys are headed towards the barracks.
The wrong thing led you to the right conclusion, so you know. Stay winning.
Oh yeah.
Meantime, you're just kind of wandering around after the pet shop, yeah?
Yeah.
Alright.
Part 3, Oyeko gets mugged.
Freaking whoever is able to mug a level 6 fighter.
I didn't say it was gonna be a fucking petty thief, did I?
Freaking
the
major
Watcher.
demon just shows up. Give me your money. Is that what you
Dang.
want? Really?
Dude, I
You
hope
might, yeah,
I hope I find a major demon. I need the help.
you might think that it's gonna be hard to mug a level 6 fighter, but not when you're a level 10 rogue.
But, just kind of
Robin Hood
wandering around.
himself.
You eventually stumble over the, kind of smithing area, as they have an entire area of this city set aside with the smithies and more blacksmithing area. A faint smell of smoke and banging fills the air.
The faint smell of smoke and banging.
Mm-hmm.
Monka has.
Hey, if you're near a bunch of blacksmith forges, that's what you're gonna smell.
Banging?
Yeah.
My God, they're just having orgies in there.
Oh
I
my
mean, I'm not.
What
yeah,
what
Chris-
exactly would you call blacksmith hammer coming down? Hammering?
Not a smell, that's for sure.
It would be
Yeah.
a sound.
But it's not a.
To be fair,
smell.
Lumpy may be tired, but I'm with him on this one. You said the smell of smoke and banging. so, I
Yes.
knew you meant a sound of banging, but
I didn't think I need to explicitly
But on a
state it because
on a
sensible people
technicality.
don't go and look. Oh yeah, banging. That smells something.
look, I'd imagine cum smells.
What do you imagine it smells like?
I don't know, the same as everything else. I really relate to Storm from X-Men when she went, you know what happens to its toad when it gets struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everything else, because that's me except with smelling.
The anti-superpower.
Mm.
Hey, it's a superpower when people are like, oh, this trash smells so
But,
bad, and I'm like,
you know how
nope.
blind people have like great hearing? Jake is smurfing because he got rid of like the most useless sense, and now his other ones are like buffed.
Yeah, I
Yeah, but it's
unironically think it
fucking
actually,
gluten.
I unironically think it buffed my sight. My entire family has glasses, and I just like haven't needed them.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably need him at some point.
Not today.
Temporary buff before the hard nerf.
Yep. Smoke and blacksmith hammer. Yay. It's a pretty busy section, so
Yeah. I
might
mean,
be
I'm
able
not,
to keep-
not
I'd
planning on
imagine
going into any
so, but-
places, just wandering.
Yep. You have to dodge a couple of times as either a youth or a kind of younger man running past with a cart full of metal bars. Like nearly sideswipes you.
Streets are dangerous. But not as dangerous as me. I stab a child.
Finally getting the Oyeko fucking downhill arc. Thank God.
Yoko finally falls to join the rest of the party.
No, Mitchell should have,
Wait a minute. I haven't done anything bad yet.
Mitchell should have a shit ton of goblins do terrible things to Oyeko until she joins the rest of us. in our
I don't
race.
Thing
agree with
is-
that.
She wouldn't, is the thing. She'd just be like, yeah, those goblins that did those terrible things, assholes. They deserve to die. The rest of them, they're fine. It's whatever.
Then you find out that goblin was actually the Genghis Khan of goblins. They are the ones that started it all. All other goblins.
They are the platonic goblin, from which all the others are forged. Yeah,
Eventually,
Penultimate goblin.
the penultimate?
Yeah.
Second to last?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You see the last one.
The Omega. What's the second to last Greek letter?
So that, you know. I think it might be Alpha.
Every time I think of the Greek alphabet, Alpha, Charlie, Beta, Foxtrot.
It
I'm
might be
like, wait a
Foxtrot.
second.
might be.
It might be Foxtrot.
I'm trying to remember, considering I know there's certain letters in the Greek alphabet that don't exist in the English one as a.
Sigh.
No, size in English word.
Yeah, alright. Yeah, so it seems like the second to last one is Psi and the last one is Omega.
Omega was the last one.
I
That's why I
figured.
said it as a joke, you know.
Yes.
It's
I am stupid, but I'm not that stupid.
guys, it's Psy apparently.
Hayden just said that. Lumpy, it's 8:46, bro. What is
that one-
going on tonight?
That one was a joke because I knew
Okay.
he said it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't believe that for a second.
I
But
believe it.
No,
He
no.
Lumpy wouldn't lie about that. Lumpy is many things, but if he says like something like completely ridiculous because he's tired, he'll just laugh about it after that. He'll be, no, I didn't say that. No, Theo seems to think. Theo seems to disagree. Wait a minute, that's bullshit. Lumpy would totally lie about that.
Truth bullet. My episode from 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, but you guys are able to find your way to the barracks,
Yeah, your episode.
or at least the
I don't consider my
guard tower
I
they
don't-
have.
Yeah, I don't divide my life into days or weeks. I have it in episodes.
What season are you on?
27.
I just have story arcs. I'm on the 5th Apple arc this year. It's unfortunate, really. I need better writers.
Be right back.
Yeah, my head writer is kind of an inter. Keeps throwing.
Every once in a while, I decide to go on a redemption arc, and then two fucking seconds in, I just get angry. It's unfortunate, really.
You can be angry and also redeemed.
No, I can't.
Oh, maybe you can't. No, I think you could. No, there were plenty of angry people who are like saints. Like David Dukes. Don't worry about it. Like Mother Teresa. That lady is so mean.
Wasn't Mother Teresa like super overrated or something?
She really was.
She actually isn't that great of a person, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
She like beat up children for fun.
Alright, I've returned.
Yeah.
So, yep.
I don't think she actually beat up children for fun. That was a joke.
No, mostly she was. I'd have to look back into it. She's very like not compassionate in general.
Well, the thing
What
is,
is
she like
this?
glorified like suffering, right?
Yeah, she
Is
was
that
like,
what it was?
this is like, you should be thankful that this has happened to you because now I get to show up and put Jesus in your life.
So it's like, it's like they glorified suffering, but also is like, if you weren't suffering, that was like frowned upon. It's like that one, it's like that one Simpsons screenshot where it's just like, if you're happy and you know it, that's a sin.
Yeah,
I know there's actually, what is it?
that's such a good line. Holy
One of
shit.
the D&D things, there's a cult that's their their way of thinking, kind of anyway.
It's like
Their
flatulence,
belief
like-
is the more suffering they take on, the less suffering everyone else has to.
Mm.
The thing is, most people don't really believe it inside of the cult.
Ah,
They just use it as an excuse to be like, well, you know, if you give me money, then I'll suffer in your name.
No, they should say, take my money so that I suffer.
Yeah, but they're broke because they're a bunch of freaking hermits.
It's like flagellants.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you guys have made it to the guard tower. There's a pair of them standing in front of the door.
Greetings,
Guards.
we're looking for a traveling companion, an elf named Gube.
Having some trouble there?
No, that's your name, right?
And poor Johnny starts talking to himself.
I'm just a figment of your imagination. You're having a stroke. Cuts back to real space, and Johnny's.
I'm a hero, he mutters, frothing at the mouth,
Yeah,
dying on the street.
banging his head against the ground.
I've been
I mean,
in a
the two guards
pattern
kinda-
at Wizards College for years.
And here he says before swallowing his own tongue.
Yep.
He
Two
seems
guards
to
look at each other.
He seems to believe he's saving the world. Poor guy.
Fuck.
Misery.
That would be such a freaking bad campaign ending. You're actually just a bunch of patients in mental asylum imagining all of this at the end of the campaign. By the way, this is actually what's going on.
Yeah, I'm being honest, Mitchell. If you ever pull one of those, you're just a massive fucking bitch.
Nah, I've done that once when I really started, and I felt horrible afterwards.
No,
It's
listen.
not a good thing to do.
You get to keep your abilities, and then you have to bust
yeah,
out.
that's what I was thinking. I'd pull
Yeah.
that, but like you're like you're escaping the mental institute.
It just you just switch.
That
it
does
from
sound
a-
like fucking something that would come up in Undead Campaign, huh?
Yeah, you switch it from a D20.
No, we're giving
system
Theo
to
more
like
ideas
a-
to extend the undead campaign.
God
Yeah.
damn it. The Undead Campaign is gonna end up being so. There's like that one like not soap opera, but TV drama that's been going on for like 50 years, and at this point, there is gonna come a certain point where, if you start it, you will not have enough time to finish it before you like die. That's gonna be the Undead Campaign.
At some point, I'd love
What
to
is dead
actually
may
just
never die.
see the undead campaign as a module and just see how many people try to understand what the hell is going on. Like you just hand it to another DM and be like,
thing
"Here,
is-
this is the undead campaign. Attempt to run it."
I would love to be part of the production of an actual Undead Campaign module. That would be so sick.
What's crazy about the Undead Campaign is I think out of everyone in this call, I know more lore about it than anyone except for Theo.
Probably, yeah.
I would love to learn the lore of the Undead campaign.
The Lore of the Undead campaign is absolutely wild, let me tell you.
All right, tell me.
I don't think I can. I think it's top secret.
Okay. Is it declassified, Theo?
Are you seeing in less frames per second than you should be seeing?
He's blocking his glasses to see faster. It's like he's in the future.
Honestly, Theo, by the time we get around to like most of the stuff, none of us will most likely remember it.
It's like pre the Undead campaign, not post the Undead campaign. It's like,
So, the Lore of the Undead campaign actually involves time cops.
Okay.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it was Molumpus that was involved with the creation, or the. No, Amelia created the Undead campaign.
yeah.
Oh.
So, the lore of Time Cops is Molumpus blows up all universes. So that way her husband will never come back to life. However, Amelia created this place that was not in any universes, so when Molumpus blows up everything, this universe stays alive, and that's where the entirety of the Undead campaign takes place.
Well, it's kind of like the Undead campaign takes place in a universe that was sort of blown up, but like,
Oh, okay.
but like the ship that Amelia made
That's right, the
crashed
shit.
into that universe, and some of the protection extended out. That's why the moon blew up. That's or like the moon started shaking apart, is because the ship crashed into it.
Of course.
Right, I see.
Oh god, that shit was so funny. It was so stupid because for Time Cops we had like major villains and the end of the story planned, but nothing else. We had no idea how the hell you guys would get there.
That's the way to write. You know how the ending happens, just how the hell you get there? I don't know.
Oh wait, Theo, can I talk about
A to
Grebo's
B
role
as
to
slow
play?
as you can.
Oh,
So the big plot point was the players were gonna have to try to defuse the bomb that Molumpus set to blow up all the universes. But the real twist ending is that Grebo was the bomb. Either he was the bomb or the bomb was in him. I don't remember.
something along those lines.
Oh god, that shit was so funny though.
Probably the guards to answer at their query of who the heck Faye is, or whatever name Lumpy gave them. Yeah, they don't know who the heck you're talking about, at least based on name.
I'm like Johnny, I don't introduce myself to literally everyone I meet.
Yeah.
Well, you must not be here. As you were. Let's stroll away.
Yep. They look down and mow. You follow after Johnny.
Yeah.
Where is Johnny going next?
I'll go back to the inn. Gavin will find us.
Alright. So Yeko, I think, is the only one wandering at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, once it starts to get a little, like, darker, I'll head back to the end.
Alright.
Mm. I don't know, Mitchell. How's it going?
I mean, you're still waiting. The guard barracks is, at least in comparison to the one that you were, you know, hanging out with the people you knew, decidedly more quiet. As most of the guards do not hang out there unless they're on shift or kind of getting ready for shift. What?
I'm gonna go back to the path that we took and then start trying to essentially measure the line and find a star that matches that line. And
I mean, it isn't quite nighttime yet, so there are no.
well, I'm
Yeah.
just trying to find the path we took.
Alright.
Location, and then start getting lines set up.
Sure. Go ahead and roll survival. See how long it takes you, because it's not that hard unless you freaking roll really poorly. Well, that's why I'm saying if you roll really poorly, then it is going to.
Mo gets lost outside. Never seen again.
Yep. I mean, it's going to take you the rest of the day to get a sense for where the line was, but you are able to do that. I mean, you weren't walking on it for too long ago, so it's not that hard to remember, even for you.
Start setting up boosts and shit. Allow myself to get a line of sight.
Mm.
Match stuff.
Yep. As the darkness comes, by the way, you look up and remember that the cloud is basically eternally cloudy. So there
The
are-
cloud is eternally cloudy. I mean, he's thinking of the sky.
Arathia.
Yep.
It's eternally overcast. Its clouds bring with them the strong scent of banging. I've been told. I'm so
You're not here, so
Shut up.
wow. I'm just wafting it towards you, you know? Gotta carry a little bit of home with you no matter where you go.
alright.
Yep.
Any mountains nearby?
Not really full mountains, but there are at least large hills. They're smaller than you're used to, regardless.
Nothing jutting above the clouds then.
No. I mean, their iron has to come from somewhere, but unfortunately, these mountains are not as big as you're used to in the north.
About I guess I'll just start seeing if there's any hills on the other side of town that are taller than the town itself to start lining up with, or find a point to line up with.
Are you willing to work into the night, because it is becoming night at this point in time?
Sure.
All right. So, to roll back a little bit then, because it isn't nighttime by the time you're told that she has found something, Gube,
Hey.
by the same lizard that you were able to track down to her before.
All right, can we go have a conversation?
Well, stepping into the room, it at least looks a lot more orderly than it was, as the stacks of paper have been put into some different configuration of stacks. But she has a small group of papers. It looks to be like less than 5 on her small desk, and she kind of waves you forward.
Yeah, go forward.
As you do so, she spreads them out and turns them to face you. And they are 2 different reports and a rough sketch. She points at the sketch first, and it does indeed look like kind of the eyeball monster. It's not a very good sketch, but I mean, it's of a creature with just a single giant eye on a humanoid body, so it's
Yeah, so
easy
that
to
one's it.
The other 2 are a pair of reports that just kind of a quick scan, as these reports are very, very well documented in a fairly good script. Like, you can read it fine, but it is kind of small, so it does take you, a little bit longer to read through. The first is a guard's report of witnessing a creature by the same description as the picture, and they are the ones that basically drew the picture for the sketch. The other one is of a civilian, a young woman that the report doesn't actually have a name. The guard does have his name. It's just Jeff. But the woman didn't give her name, or they didn't get it down. As apparently the creature literally appeared in her home and then vanished again.
Yep, that checks out.
So, yep. She kind of leans back in her chair, a proud look on her face. It just kind of looks at the sketch, seems to kind of cringe at it a little bit.
Did she mention a glowing middle-aged man as well, like over its shoulder or something?
Yeah, did either of them appear to see it carrying a body?
The woman's report has no mention of it. The guard's report does. But there seemed to be an unconscious person associated with it. Or a corpse. They didn't know. The guard guessed unconscious.
I mean, anything else of note in these reports? Because I will read through all of them.
I mean, it's
We've
kind of giving you the bullet points.
Yeah.
The guard's report gives you a rough description of like the location of the city, but it seems to be in line with where its kind of teleporting path was.
Mm-hmm.
You do notice that both of them lack a date, however.
You got any? You don't have any dating system for this stuff?
Her face just kind of falls. I did. She just kind of looks around at the stacks. But they were stacked by... Ow. He just kind of leans down, head in hands. Unfortunately, it's taken me so long to find them that I could not tell you when they occurred.
It's fine, I think I've got a good idea of when they occurred.
Kind of sits back up. Looks a little more hopeful. I hope that was helpful for you.
Well, it confirms the suspicions I had, so yes.
Alright, good. He just kind of rummages around in one of the drawers and pulls out a piece of paper and just sets it on the table for you, along with a quill and an inkwell. If you could just sign this for me?
I will look at the piece of paper. What is it?
It seems to be an agreement that says, in short, any knowledge gained from the records department by Mika and Sal Will not be used for the purposes of murdering any persons in the town of Sir Iron.
I can't
I'll,
sign this.
I'll sign it.
I can't. I can't sign that.
Well, murder, etc.
Yeah, no, it will not be used to commit crimes.
So she nods,
Easy enough for me.
and you do feel kind of a tingle when you finish signing it, and she just kind of quickly takes the paper away and slides it back into one of the drawers. Gives you a smile. Thank you. Hopefully you have a good day.
Is that magically compelling?
Maybe. You
Save
did
the
sign it,
world,
so
we must
most
submit
likely
it
you won't get in trouble from it.
Didn't have any plans to do it anyway. And with that, I'll turn and leave.
You know, stepping outside.
As you leave, a group of thugs approach you.
Yeah, I could fucking kill all the thugs.
They
I wouldn't
they
have
say-
used the information for anything.
They say,
It's not
hey,
like I.
Thugs.
they
If
say,
I
hey,
use the information to go to that person's house and like break in,
they say,
then
hey, commit a crime or die.
Christ.
Yeah. But stepping
When they
outside,
file the report with
it is dark.
We need you to kill her or you're toast.
Supposed to be in there for 2 hours. Fucking bureaucracy.
Yeah, it took a little longer than 2 hours.
Yeah, I could tell. Alright, time to wander my way back to the inn then.
You guys all meet up, minus Mo, who is outside. There is, by the way, just to kind of circle back, there is a large hill in the direction of the line, or at least it's close enough to the direction that you should be able to get up on top of it and not be like too far off the line. Like its peak is not quite along it; it's off a little bit to the west, but you'll be close enough. You're like 3/4 of the way up the mountain. However, it is going to take you quite a while to clamber up the hill because it's a good few miles away from the town, and then, of course, you have to climb.
Yeah. I will persevere.
Mm-hmm.
Did I ever learn?
So, I mean, you make it there, like, it's not too far away. It's only like an hour or so. However, the mountain seems to be more built to go down, as they do have a mine that is currently not in operation because it's nighttime. And so there really isn't like a nice way that they built up onto the mountain. At least on the outside, there might be a mine shaft that goes up kind of into its center. But for at least standing outside, you can't see anything along those lines.
Alright, quick question.
Sure.
Actually, let me check something. Yes. So I actually have one more cantrip slot than I have chosen, and I kind of wanted to use the light spell as like a post from which to like start creating the line. Like,
Keep in mind the light spell only allows you to create one magical light at a time.
yeah,
The moment you create a second, it shuts off.
I just need.
Then, yeah, you should have had one, so you can spontaneously learn light. Because you learned it a while ago, most likely, and just forgot you had it.
The thing is, in Kid it's also useful for my team.
We can't have that.
I like having
It can't be too useful.
having our team fumble around in the dark.
You fucker.
Tell that to Kyrie.
Yeah, you like that in general is the thing. Like, you were on our team in trivia, and instead of saying the answer like as teammates do, you would just give us hints to like.
That was the funniest shit. Lumpy's team it was my picture round, and Lumpy's team was struggling, and Theo goes, Jake, and I go, what? He goes, can I give them a hint? I'm like, Theo, you're on their team. And then he said, because the first one was it was Betsy from Terraria or Dungeon Defenders.
Hmm.
I used the Terraria sprite, but I wasn't gonna take points away if they guessed the other game.
Wait, there's a
And Theo
triangle
goes, the
dungeon?
first,
Huh.
yeah, they had a crossover.
Uh,
And Theo goes, the first one is from multiple games, and they still didn't get it. And then a few minutes passed, and he goes, fine, number one is Betsy. And he was like mad about it. I was like, what? Theo?
he had greater hopes for his team than his team had hopes to do.
It's fucked.
So are we having a light spell or no?
Yeah, we're having a lot spell.
Okay. So are you going to attempt to go into the mine and see if they have a way up, or just climbing the outside?
Just climbing the outside. That goes well.
Okay. It's for like the kind of smaller area, because the mine itself is set a little ways from the actual mountains, so it's kind of in like the foothills area. So the foothills are easy. You can climb up those, no problem. When you get to the mountain itself, however, it does start to have more, well, straight up sections rather than, or just mostly straight up sections rather than just a kind of gravelly hillside. So you need to climb if you wish to get further.
I will use my spell slot, Spider Climb.
Really? Well, Spider Climb makes it freaking easy for the next... How long does Spider Climb last? Is it one of those hour spells, or does it last a shorter period? Fucking duration in 5e is freaking bizarre sometimes. I'm still far too used to 3.5 where duration is partially tied to your level. So...
Doesn't. Oh, right, because I didn't actually enter it in. Because I couldn't.
No matter how good you are at mage armor, it will always last.
Spider climb is concentration up to an hour.
Okay, I figured that sounded right to me for a spell of that type. So, yeah. For about the next hour, you're able to make good progress.
Fuck.
Get the
Close
hour more
it.
out.
And then Theo freaking all died.
I was trying to switch to the page and I just closed it.
Oh, I've done that before.
I know I go back for Roll20 far too often.
I found that you can reopen a tab once you close it by
Yeah.
hitting Control Shift T.
Mhm.
That's some voodoo.
Yeah, that was.
Fuck though.
That was-
Okay, so just for reference in how I'm doing this is I'm finding I have a light cast on a pole down at the bottom. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I chose a point in the village that like I lined up, and now I'm trying to create a point that lines up with the light and the pole and the point in the village.
How long
And-
does light stay on?
I believe it's an hour.
Okay. So you're not going to be able to make it all the way up the hillside before that light is going to
I don't-
shut up.
I don't really need to make it all the way up the hillside. I just need to make it part way up the hill.
Okay. Yeah.
Visibly
You can make
up the hill.
it far enough up the hill, especially with Spider Climb, to make it so you can kind of draw a line from that point in the village to the, or part of the town to the pole at the bottom of the hill that you're on.
And then I will, I don't know, try and make it brutally obvious that there is a pole here to find at some later date.
Such as putting a pole there.
Yeah. And then putting more marking poles that don't look like the original pole at all.
You find a field littered with poles. All right, which one do we need to use to track this thing?
Mo starts sweating.
Well, I
yeah.
couldn't make my hints too useful.
Wait, generally,
I can't wait for tomorrow, and we're just like, all right, we're on the other side of the city. Now we just need to find the spot where the invisible line is. And Mo starts looking back towards it and just won't tell anyone what they're doing.
Roll a
You know,
perception check
maybe
to
if
see
there
your
was a
pulse.
marker, that would be pretty useful, huh?
Make a perception check. to see
Youngins
your
need to
pulse.
learn how to do things on their own. I can't be helping them every step of the way.
Yeah.
And then once I'm done with that, I'll just head back
All
back
right.
to base.
Well, it does eat up like I don't know, an hour, probably an hour and like 20 minutes or so. So you can still get a good long rest in.
No idea if this will actually help us. Just felt like doing something.
Yeah, fuck it.
So you return back to the Elk and Pine.
Yep.
Staggered pine. I think.
And go to sleep. Each two rooms cost.
Large aquarium.
I remember how much do this here.
The singles, I believe, are 5 gold, and I think common room is 5 copper. I mean,
Single, five silver. Common,
Well, 'cause it's
5
set-
silver. Fuck you.
5 copper for
Yeah.
the common room. Because this place only has the single rooms as a separate area, separate entity.
You know what? Screw it. Oyeka will sleep in the common room tonight. Why not?
Yeah, I need to go
Awesome.
repay for fucking horses again, which I think was. I think it was originally 3, but then my horse fucking broke someone's arm.
Yeah, I think it was 4 silver. No, 5 after
Yeah,
your
it's 5 now.
They rounded it up to be a nice 5. Kinds of
Absolute
injury.
bastard making me pay more.
So,
Fucking horse.
you guys are able to pay for dinner and rooms. And the morning comes. It's overcast, but at least it's not raining today.
Curses.
Yeah. The common room, by the way, for tonight was very, very empty. It was basically like you 3 and one other group. Scholars apparently have moved on. But yeah, morning comes. So, what is the plan for today?
Well, I didn't find any big demons or anything, so I really don't know what to do.
I have no idea what this shot.
Tried to look into
Finding
demons,
or
not
anything.
successful.
So, I mean, I don't really know what our options should be. Do you guys find anything?
I have not had a chance to speak yet with my bird, but if all goes well, I might.
You got a bird?
Birds spoke with you.
Yes, I have a bird. This is Johnny.
Just gonna raise an eyebrow. This is Johnny. Why did you get a bird?
Well, guess I wanted to talk to it. Or it wanted to talk to me.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I'm just catching one like the 800 that have been following us the past few days.
This one can bow and talk.
Well, most of them can talk to you.
This one can bow. And its name is Johnny. It's been raised well.
Do I know about the fact that birds can't, or not birds, crows can do like repeating shit?
Most likely you would know that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they have limited mimicry.
I don't think that its name is Johnny.
Well, how'd you know?
Did it tell you its name is Johnny after you introduced yourself?
Of course I introduced myself.
Okay, its name is 99% not Johnny.
Ridiculous. Well, it didn't have a collar, so that implies I could name it.
You know, most birds don't have collars. Collars don't really work
Johnny
for
has
birds.
a child. Doesn't have a collar. I'll name it Johnny.
If you collar a bird and you have it like attached to something and it tries to take off, it's gonna snap its fucking neck. That's why you have them by the leg.
Do you see a collar on its leg?
Is there a collar on its leg?
No.
No, I do not. So are you going to name it Johnny?
Well, starting to think better of it. It might get confusing.
Yeah.
Someone says,
Name
"Hey,
it Johnny with John.
That would sound completely different.
Yeah, exactly.
Johne.
Now we're talking.
Peru. Name it Johnner. Johnny. As for what we did, I went to the guard barracks and was able to successfully learn that creature did in fact pass through the town. So I think we just go to the side of the town and follow the line.
Oh, that's good. I don't
Line posts.
Why?
Useful, but
like in the line that we came in.
Can we see them from the other side of the town? Can we see them from the other side of the town?
I mean, once you go out, probably.
Well, we should
Yeah.
see how visible they are from the other side. I'm in favor of spending some of the morning doing that.
I was just gonna rely on my abilities as a fucking ranger and not getting lost and just knowing where I'm going.
You just know that?
More or less. Do you hear me saying it's fucked up when you start doing your weird ward shit?
no, you should.
Okay, completely understandable. Mo, if you ever cast magic on me again, I will slap the fuck out of you.
I guess I should probably ask this since I don't think I know. What did you sacrifice?
I sacrificed my family.
Oh, yeah, cool,
Slowly
Oh yeah,
blink.
cool. We'll just look at Gouvet, just go. That's why I hate magic, and then walk off.
Johnny is like super not cool with this, by the way.
I just slowly blink and then take another bite of my food.
Mo has done
well,
nothing wrong.
Well, we
I was
we
gonna
follow
not
this-
absorb that one.
While we follow this this line, could you stay here? Like constantly?
Johnny, we can't just kick him out. We didn't kick you out.
Why would you kick me out?
You need an itemized list.
I imagine it would be short.
I give a look that does not imply the same thought process.
Johnny does not pick up on that.
So what do you think about calling your bird?
Mo's kids.
Mo's dead fucking family.
I'll name it Bird.
I get up and leave at that.
Adds it to the list.
Yeah. Actually, before I leave, I'm gonna ask Johnny where he got his bird.
Oh, from the the household menagerie.
All right, I'm gonna go find that.
If it's been a close enough time where I see Gouvet come out of the inn alone, I will.
Hey, just sitting outside, leaning against the side of the inn.
More or less, just getting fresh air.
This guy named Kent runs it. He's really nice.
I'm already gone. The second I heard the name,
Sacrifice is fat.
gone. Unlike some people.
Okay, Gouvet,
Mm-hmm.
what the fuck?
I'm gonna go get a pet. You want anything?
That, you know, a walk sounds nice. I want to be able to complain.
Yeah, sure.
This trip has already been frustrating, I guess, enough for me. Traveling with Johnny is like so against my moral code. You have no idea how much it's been bothering me. And now I'm stuck with Mo too.
No, I get it. I understand traveling with John being against your moral code. I don't
That
particularly
guy-
like it.
Mo put the lives of his own family members below the price of having magic. Do you realize how fucked up that is?
Are you actually asking me this right now? Is this an actual question?
Johnny steps out. Can you believe Mo put the lives of her own family members under her leave the cat's magic?
I would have made sure that I'm not around you. You raise my fucking blood
No,
pressure.
No, Johnny has the exact same thought as Oyeko.
They all step outside. Hey, guys,
No.
guys, what the fuck is up with Mo?
Bartender steps outside. What the fuck? What was that
Dude.
about? Sacrificing his family? Or her family? Fuck.
Kinslaying and like familial stuff is like top of Johnny's list of like important values.
I love how we now have it to where 2 members of the party hate one member of the party, and 3 members of the party don't like another member of the party.
And Mo still likes
And
everyone.
one of the party,
I was like,
one of the party now has reasons to not like every single other member of the party.
Hey, wait. Who would that one be? Me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you are racist. I keep forgetting that. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that adds up.
Well, it's because here's the thing. I don't like goblins, but I don't act on it. I'm just suspicious. Whereas Johnny actively tries to kill them, so I just kind of fly under the radar on that one.
Oh no, I mean, Oyako's aware that you're a little racist. Because every time goblins are mentioned, you start reaching for the gun.
That's not true. It isn't every time.
90%.
The time I just am more ready to fight. The only time I've actually been walking around with with my hand on my weapon was after I had the terrible fucking memories. And we then were like, all right, boys, we're going into the goblin town. And that was just bad timing, really.
Yep. So, yeah. Trying to find that shop.
Yep.
The name Johnny gives you, I'm sure it comes as a great surprise, does not click with anyone you ask.
Yeah, I'm just going to be asking if people have heard that or something similar to that. This isn't the first time Johnny has just given exceptionally wrong information confidently.
Lumpy, do you remember what you gave him?
I said the guy's name was Kent.
No, the shop
I wasn't
name.
there for that part.
Yeah.
Oh, the household
already left.
menagerie. But I think Johnny was just saying that like they had a lot of animals there, so it was like a menagerie, but like the animals were for the household. I don't think he gave an establishment's name.
I asked him for the establishment's name, and he just fucking told me something that is... He's a
It's a
fucking
pet
nerd.
shop. It sells pets. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Basically,
presumably
he
after
said-
like a few minutes of being like, okay, this is worthless, I'll just start asking around for a pet shop.
I mean, you get pointed to a couple. The one that's nearby is Gats Corral, but there are some others that also crop up.
Sure.
Are you going to one of the other ones, or are you going to Gats?
Gats. It's near.
So, yep. I mean, you could have also just asked Oyeko. She would probably remember the name.
Ayako was there.
I mean,
Oyeko
presumably...
Oyeko
Yeah.
is just fuming right now.
What is, you know what, never mind.
I was doing the classic thing of just being there to listen to someone who's venting.
Well, what's funny, Theo?
No, nothing's funny.
I will throw in the fact that we don't necessarily know the circumstances, given that they also said that their entire... I'm pretty sure at one point Mo mentioned that their entire, like, clan was fucking obliterated, more or
He
less.
mentioned that the village was lost, but then we're like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. He's like, no, we just can't find it. I'm pretty sure.
Was that actually it?
I think so, right?
Not really quite it. It's more
The village
so, like,
suffered a horrible teleporting accident. It is now somewhere else.
they can't find it in that, like, no,
It has
everyone
physically moved.
was forcibly moved, and it's uncertain who's still alive.
Yeah. See, I will throw in the fact that there is a very, very small chance that there are circumstances that we are not aware of. However...
Regardless, you don't sacrifice your own family.
No, I agree.
I would die before that.
I feel like you would die before sacrificing anything. At all.
Yeah, probably.
I'm pretty sure all of us would die before you sacrifice anything.
I don't know. I mean, I can say right now when I'm not in that situation that I wouldn't. Like, I would die before it, but... You know, in the heat of the moment, if it was to, like, save the world, maybe I'd sacrifice something. I don't know.
If you don't sacrifice something to save the world, then you're not...
Yeah, that's
Maybe
fair.
you should re-examine your moral compass.
Well, okay, let me... If it was just to save all of you guys, the thing is, it's like... I'd want to save you, but I'm not too sure about those two anymore. Like Johnny, I'd be happy to let him bleed out on the floor. And I thought Mo was alright, but now I don't know.
You ever wonder how you got to this point?
Yeah, weird dreams, that's how.
I wonder a lot.
Take one job. Hunting some bandits. Cook gets cursed because Mo and Johnny start fiddling with some magic, and then guess what?
That was Mo and Geve, wasn't it?
No.
No.
It was,
I distinctly remember Geve had put her rifle on my shoulder while we stood at the very edge of the room pointing weapons at it.
Yeah.
it was definitely
We got to
not.
the very edge
Nice.
of the room and we're like, alright, when this goes terrible, we'll help.
Mo wanted to move it, and you offered to help.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
you guys weren't enough, so then Cook was like, I guess we're doing this now.
Oh.
And so now I'm here.
I'll take your word for it.
Because that somehow triggered fate, and now fate's like, hey, guess what, Oyeko, you in particular can go fuck yourself. Travel with these people you hate. I guess I can't talk about that. All things considered, I mean, my life hasn't been that bad.
Should have kept trying at blacksmithing.
I mean,
Maybe
there's
that
some-
first forge was a fluke.
Maybe able to retire someday. That'd be nice. But I'll probably die of a heart attack first.
I mean, at this rate, yeah.
Someone new. They're gonna
I'm pretty sure that my blood is thickening like syrup as we speak.
we're gonna meet someone, they're gonna seem cool, and then they're gonna be like, oh, by the way, I like to
I'm sorry.
kill babies for fun.
By the way, I've sacrificed 80% of the people who I've ever met for magic. I don't regret it, because I also sacrificed that somehow. I sacrificed it multiple times. It was funny.
Johnny gets the distinct sensation that he's being strawman somewhere.
I'm actually not even strawmanning you at this point. I'm strawmanning magic as a whole. Oh, Yakko's bringing me over.
If it was up to me, I would just honestly just take magic and get rid of it. Kaput.
I mean, isn't that kind of like dooming an entire race to death, though?
You know what I mean.
The sacrifice is molded.
Sacrifices have to be made. I thought you said you don't like sacrifices. It's an exception to the rule, baby!
I'm all mad.
Yeah?
Yeah. This sucks.
Yeah, couldn't tell.
I was like, okay, there's 2 people here I can fight, make sure I'm protecting them, make sure they don't die, and now it's just 1. Now it's just 1. I'm traveling with 3 other people. Do I really have to hate 2 of them?
Been like a few adventuring parties. I think this was just exceptionally unlucky. You know, my gun never misfired as much until I fucking started rolling with you people. Now it misfires every 4 goddamn shots. It's cursed.
Next thing I know, I'm gonna wake up one night to Mo and Johnny dragging me out into the cursed moon.
One of us.
I somehow
Oh,
doubt that's
no.
going to happen. Neither of them got cursed by the moon.
Yeah, they're probably gonna be like, "Pfft, 1 sacrifice, not enough. I want to just get a random ass curse." And you know what? Fuck Oyeko. Let's throw her in too.
I should not even do that. Most kind of throwing me through a loop. I also am not sure that they would do that, but given recent learnings,
Yeah.
I got to re-examine my feelings on Mo.
So
But
as Johnny reflects on what just happened, I think he's gonna like roll insight to see if he believes Mo, or if he thinks like, ah, Mo was kidding.
That's a fucked thing to joke about.
I want to see this insight.
Mo was kidding. Actually, Theo, it was Mo telling the truth there?
Yeah.
Mo was kidding.
Either Mo is kidding or Mo actually sacrificed way worse than that. Mo got a second family just to sacrifice them for more magic.
He remarried and just on their wedding night pushed her down the slip and slide straight into hell.
Why is a Mo a man now?
Well, that was
That's
the
how
third thing Mo
evil Mo
sacrificed.
That's how evil Mo is.
Mo sacrificed their manhood as the third thing.
Mo's so evil that he's trans.
Yep.
True.
Something I would only say on Thursdays, by the way.
Pretty
Actually.
much. Alright, I'm gonna say that.
Scott Hall to do this YouTube channel.
I would immediately kill myself if I even heard the words "undead campaign" in a professional context.
You hear undead campaign, and suddenly a student's gonna disappear. Hey, why
Student
they
asks
stop
you,
coming to school?
"Hey."
Don't know.
Jacob, who's Lumpy? Just on the
No,
camera
I-
shuts off.
Yeah, it's they was like no, Lumpy isn't a name. Lumpy's like an adjective used to describe something. No, I heard someone say that like you were lumpy.
Have you
Lights
heard of-
go out in the room. The
I've
lights
been
turn back on.
working-
They're just gone.
Even better, someone says like Lumpy and he responds like yeah, and he goes, oh no.
the single bead of sweat? Like, what was that?
I'm sorry, I thought you said Jacob.
Oh, I thought you said that I was gaining weight and getting lumpy, which is kind of rude, and you should not say that because that's a very insensitive thing to say. And
But we're all the way over here, Mr. Sanghas.
No.
No. I have good hearing. Just today. Uh,
We didn't even pick up that word specifically.
what a nightmare. What a nightmare scenario.
Well, yep. You're able to find the corral, which was as I described it.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, they'll never guess what I do here, which is I enter.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It is fairly early, so some of the animals are still asleep, so it is at least a little quieter than the last time Oyeko came. But there are some. Though they do seem to quiet down a little bit when you're kind of standing near the cage, Guve.
Mm.
Though they do not look particularly pleased at their state of existence at the moment.
Wet is not their preferred state of existence.
They're inside. They're just
Why
in
are
a
they wet?
cage. The
Why are they
horses
wet
are
in this
somewhere
scenario?
You have to mist them every few hours.
else.
It's like at stores where the fucking missed fruit to make it look better.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
So-
that's spritzers.
Crossing through the thing to get to the counter, or peeking around at the animals first.
I'm picking around. I'm looking for specific weapons.
Surprisingly, they don't have any. Obviously, anyway. There's no cages. They're mostly birds and then more like,
more
mammal.
I wasn't gonna say it, love.
All right. I will then just move to the counter.
Yep. There is a very young, like nearly a child, standing behind the counter. Just kind of pop up on top of the stool so that they can actually kind of see over it. Like they're that young that they can barely see over it, just their nose and the top of their head.
Howdy.
It is a little girl. She looks down at you.
Aw,
Yeah?
you for sale?
Do you happen to have any snakes?
I don't think so. Snakes are weird.
Well, all right then. I don't know how to respond to that really.
There was no plan B.
Do you have
A
is there
small
someone-
child, completely stymied.
Is there someone older around that I can speak to?
The older the person, the more likely that there will be snakes in the store.
I think
No, the older
Pop's
the
outside.
person, the more likely is that they actually know what's in the store.
You did see some older people like out taking care of the horses and other animals outside, but there's no one in here at the moment other than the girl.
I'm gonna go out and talk to him then,
All right.
and we'll do just that.
She popped off the stool. Yeah, outside there are a handful of people anyway.
Howdy,
Right.
is one of you the owner of the store?
One of the ones kind of near the fence walks over to you. If you're looking for the owner, that would be Gat. He's not in the store?
Unless Gat is a very small girl.
No. That would most likely be Gat's daughter.
Really, just anyone who can answer the question of whether or not you guys sell snakes.
Just kind of
Actually.
rubs the back of his neck. I mean, not many people are looking for snakes around here. I don't think we do, but I could see if I can't find Gat for you. He would have a better sense of our stock.
That would be wonderful.
Give me a bit. He just kind of runs off toward the store. You hear him mumbling, "God damn it," as he runs off. And about 10 minutes later, a very rotund man comes out of the store from the side door and kind of walks over to the fence.
He's the representatives of the snakes.
Yep.
Gluttony's a
Has nice
bitch.
clothing. A pretty nice coat for the weather. He does not seem to be carrying any cages, though.
Mm-hmm.
He just kind of walks over to the fence where you're standing.
Which means either the snakes are very large, or there are none.
Are you the person asking about reptiles, snakes, and the like? Yes.
That would be me.
Unfortunately, we do not sell such creatures here. I could perhaps interest you in birds, maybe?
You could not, unfortunately.
Oh, a shame.
You've seen too many birds recently. Ugh.
Well, we have other animals. I sell horses, as well as donkeys and the other creatures of their ilk, as well as some select magical creatures on occasion. No reptiles amongst them, though.
Select magical creatures.
Of course.
Such as?
Well, our pride and joy right now is a creature known as a dire wolf. Large beasts covered in hard scales in the right places. Tough as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess tough as stone. Hell would be something that he would have.
How did you get your hands on a dire wolf?
Well, I have my sources. That's all he's going to give you for it.
How much would you want for the dire wolf? I ask, knowing full well that this will only end poorly for me.
It was quite a handful to get a hold of. But you seem like a sensible young one. I could let it go for, let's say, 2,000? No, that's far too much. Let's say 200 gold pieces. That seems much fairer.
That will leave me with not, like, any money.
It is, of course, without training.
What do you say about training?
It is without training.
Mm-hmm. You know, I came here for snakes, and if I'm honest, I don't really think it's in my best interest to blow all of my fucking money on what I did not come here for.
Well, he mentioned that the dire wolf was magical. What is this? Just like an innately magical creature, or like something happened to it?
It is one of those things that scholars are still researching. As far as most people are concerned, both magical and mundane, animals are not smart enough to give anything to become
they can't
magical
understand
creatures.
the concept of sacrificing something.
Yep. That does not mean that there are some animals that are basically turned into magical creatures, owlbears being one of such animals, because of someone being freaking stupid. There are certain creatures that seem to just be naturally magical. Whether or not they are partially demonic in heritage, or just happen to get caught in a magical blast of some form that sometimes just happens out in the wild, it's unknown. Keep in mind, magic is not well understood. So, and what people call magical creatures might literally just be bigger versions of their normal selves. Dire creatures might just be normal creatures that are freaking on basically from the older times.
Oh.
Step downs from the gods and giants from before time.
Can I see this dire wolf? Sorry.
You
completely-
should have spotted it right inside my shop. It's the central pillar of my current stock.
Would I have seen it?
I mean, you saw a big, huge ball of fur in the center of the shop. In the center of the shop.
Gooey, I won't lie, it's kind of piqued my interest.
Mm.
You see him clap his hands together and raise an eyebrow. Ah, fine eye on you. Oh, come inside. I'll give you a better look at it.
Oh, great.
Follow.
He walks back inside the side door. You can kind of, as you're walking around, hear him quietly just talking to someone. And stepping inside, he has positioned himself kind of next to the cage. So when you step in, it's very obvious which one he's gesturing towards. And it is indeed the cage with a large bundle of fur in it. Doesn't really look like a wolf. It doesn't really look like anything other than a bunch of fur that someone just piled in a cage. But he he has a kind of cane-like stick and pokes in the cage, and the ball of fur issues forth a low growl. And after a couple more pokes, it finally kind of unfolds in a single motion and snaps at the cane.
He's friendly.
The thing has one blue eye, which is kind of odd, and one brown eye, and does not look in the best shape, as its whole kind of front is covered in small cuts and old scarring, along with its kind of front forepaws, as well as kind of shoulders being covered in a vaguely metal or stone-like material. He just kind of lets the stick go, and the direwolf very rapidly deconstructs it into a bunch of random splinters.
I'm going to assume that I can recognize that metal and stone, not usual.
Nope. I mean, it's usual for dire wolves, but not for normal wolves. While they're related, they are not the same creature.
Alright.
200 gold?
Indeed. But as I said, that is without any training or any of the additional amenities. If you wish for us to train it, that will of course increase the price by a considerable margin.
And it will also make it so, I'll probably have to wait a while.
Indeed. It will take some time to convince it to be more friendly.
Can I attempt to use primal awareness to get a feeling of how, like, wild this thing is and aggressive?
It is very wild and aggressive. It is
Yeah.
also not entirely animal. There's
Mhm.
definitely more intelligence behind it than just bestial. Though how much exactly that is, it's kind of hard to tell. You don't have a
Alright.
heck of a lot of experience with direwolves, as they are, along with most magical animals, very rare.
I will attempt to communicate the idea of if we take you with us, are you going to try and kill us? You'll be in better conditions than here.
And kind of tears its eyes away from the shop owner and looks at you. And it's hard to get a good reading away from it, but it definitely is radiating hostility towards you.
Me in specific? In specific.
It seems to just be kind of radiating hostility in general, I guess, but seeing as you're now kind of grabbed its attention, it's pointed towards you. But it was radiating a similar amount to
Are there
Would
any
be-
actions I can take to persuade it not to attack?
leave it in a cage.
Mm. Oh, Yeko, how?
Yeah.
How
You
much
sense that
experience do you
this
have?
thing wants to escape, and that escape will be coming at any means necessary levels.
Can I talk to you over here for a second?
Yeah, of course.
If we buy this thing, the second it gets out, it is going to try and leave, even if it means it has to kill one of us to do so.
Do you see it in there?
Yes.
It is. That's not a way for a creature like that to live. If it doesn't want to stick around, I was just gonna buy it and let it go.
All right, how much money do you have?
I have more than enough. I have 20 platinum on top of my 100. I have completely out of pocket. I don't expect you to pay any money for my sensitivity, I guess.
Well, as much as I am not the animal-oriented profession, subtype, whatever. As much as I did not decide to go into working with animals, I don't necessarily like seeing them in states such as that. So I'm willing to help.
Poor thing. I mean, I'm just gonna pay for it. We'll see what happens. I will walk up and go, I'll take it for 200.
Wonderful. Would you like us to release it into your care here, or would you feel more comfortable in a safer location?
Probably outside of town.
You know, as I thought. Good. I will have it loaded up and freed into your services in, shall we say, a few hours? I do need to get the stuff all set up and the people ready to go.
Makes sense.
Yep.
We're good to go. Yeah.
So he basically sets up in which gate he's going to meet up, or at least he's going to send people to meet up with you with the direwolf.
I will ask if he knows anywhere where I can get reptiles.
Well, it's not in my help at giving competitors additional business. Seeing as I do not serve you, I can send you along to one of my fellows. I believe a rather strange one. His shop is named the Fading Shrimp, I believe. Should be a little more what you're looking for. He handles more scaled creatures, from what I know. He is a little odd, just to give you a warning.
Everyone works with reptiles is odd. It's just the rule of the business.
He nods. They are ghastly creatures. You hear the young girl kind of yelling from behind the counter. Are you coming back? I'm bored. She kind of turns around, waves in her general direction, which does not help at all. And just kind of
Yes.
gently pushes you guys out the door.
Yeah.
So you can handle the growing creature in the back of the store.
Well, now I just have to convince it when we get out of town not to kill us before it leaves. Easy. And with that, I will go find the Fading Shrimp.
I'm gonna go try to find a butcher's to buy some meat.
Yep. I mean, you guys can travel together for at least a period as well, this place is kind of off the beaten trail out of the market area because of its size. The Fading Shrimp and, of course, the more market area is a lot closer as it's a more usual shop. So you're able to find a butcher fairly close by.
1 second.
Yep.
to the back.
All right.
And I mean, I'm assuming I have like at least a baseline knowledge of dire wolves and the fact they probably eat what wolves eat.
Probably.
And yeah, I mean, they're just here for the fucking meat.
Yep. Wolves are known for their meat-loving natures. So, yeah. You step into are you like picking a butcher like by reputation, or are you just picking the first one you see?
Just picking a butcher.
Okay. So, yeah, you step into one, and standing behind the counter is a, cloaked figure. They're wearing, of course, the usual kind of butcher garb, heavy boots along with their apron smothered in blood, but they do have their head covered, kind of wearing a heavy coat, as well as kind of the usual.
Yako's many things. She's not one to judge on appearances.
Yep. The store in the front is fairly clean. He has a little kind of area off to the, or the owner has a little area off to the left of the door where it has kind of the cuts of the day, along with, of course, their kind of more heavy set table for cutting meat that is customer ordered. Then they have a room off, well, they have two doors off to the back. One that obviously is kind of kept a little colder, mostly because it leads down, and the other one, which is probably more of the back room area, or maybe his home somewhere. But the owner seems to be very firmly concentrating on chopping up some sort of like animal leg of some sort.
Yeah,
Make
I mean,
people strong.
I'll wait for him to finish chopping it up.
Yep. After a fairly short time, he seems fairly proficient. Carves up the leg and just kind of keeps the bone on his side. You hear it kind of tumble into a bin that makes kind of other clinking sounds of... Or clinking? I don't know. The sound of bone against bone, effectively.
Slonking.
Yeah. Then pushes the meat into a little area off to the side, and then turns towards you, and you meet eye to eye with one of the skeletons. He just kind of looks at you, seems to be measuring your response.
I mean, well, Yako doesn't have much against the actual skeleton people. They're forced into it.
Yep.
If anything, it's more pity.
What if the skeletons make a sacrifice?
Well, they have to, or some of them do when they get resurrected. Right?
As far as you've heard, all of them have to. It is a requirement for continued existence.
But seeing as how a lot of them don't know how they come back, Yako's not one to judge them too harshly. It is just
most of them
mostly
don't
pity.
really have a choice. They just kind of wake up one day from working, or just kind of res on their own.
Whenever you die, you're asked if you want to fucking join the skeleton army, and if you say no, then you're sent back.
Recursively.
As long as you're in Arathia. But yeah, after a moment, it just kind of nods, gestures at the meat in the kind of container off to the left of the door. It gestures with its butcher knife down toward the door that has kind of a slight mist coming out of it.
So, I don't. What kind of meat would wolves like most?
Kind of looks at you, shrugs, then just kind of pulls a steak out from behind the counter, just lays it on lays it on top. Kind of makes a like this.
Yeah, I mean that seems good. I don't know. I was hoping. How much meat would
Just kind of looks at you, cocks its head, and then holds up one skeletal finger and walks into the cold room. You hear the sounds of chopping, and after another about a minute or two, it comes back out with a
Goblin
very large pile. Like a good 12 to 15 steaks.
How much would that be in pounds?
I would say probably somewhere near 20 to 30 pounds.
No, that's not that bad.
I mean, meat's expensive, but gold is a lot.
Just look at it. He already cut it. Just nod. Okay, that seems good.
It holds up a sack, kind of shakes it in your direction.
Yeah, I would really like something to hold it.
Nods and just kind of starts putting it in.
And I will count out my 12 gold. Place it
Yep.
down for him.
Yeah, it nods as it's continuing to work, and then finally it goes and has it all set up for you, and just kind of pushes it across the counter while it collects the coins.
I'll just sort of grab it. Thank you very much. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you for your patronage. just kind of makes a slight bow and goes back to what it was doing before, pulling up a new leg to start cutting up.
Yep, and Oyeko will just take the meat and leave.
Yep. In the meantime, Guve, you have found the shop. It is a small wooden structure that seems like it's kind of just appeared here. Like, the road doesn't quite fit with the shop itself. And the shop is made out of very fine but very highly decorated wood.
Mm.
Like, it almost looks like it just grew here on its own.
Kooky.
Yeah.
I will enter.
Inside, there is a wood elf that seems to be in conversation with a water bowl. And after kind of looking at it a little more carefully, you can see there are a couple of fish that just are kind of looking at him.
Ah. Circle of the Shepherd really is kooky, huh?
Yep. He's dressed up like well, kind of like Halvan.
Oh, fine.
I'm not going to interrupt this conversation. I'll start looking around.
Yep. Most of the animals in here seem to be aquatic in nature. There are a couple of amphibians, though, as well as turtles and the like. Though no snakes at first glance.
Hmm.
Yep. After you kind of like walk into his eyesight at some point, he just kind of whirls around. I'm sorry. Was discussing something. Have you come here to buy something in particular?
Snakes.
Snakes.
Or a snake, I suppose.
Do have snakes. Do you have a preferred species?
Not really.
Do you know what that means? Or should I go with the size instead?
I understand what different species of snakes are.
I'm just making sure. Not everyone does. But do you have a preferred size in that case?
Like medium sized. Not medium as in like a person, but medium as in like I could carry it conceivably without significantly straining myself.
Smaller size. I should be able to find one. Give me just a moment to go ask. And he steps kind of past you and out the door.
Mm-hmm.
There doesn't seem to be a door to the back of the shop. And you do hear him kind of through the wall, the back wall, and seems to be talking. It's pretty muffled because it's talking through a pretty thick wooden wall. But seems to be questioning which one wants to leave, is vaguely the conversation that you catch.
Chorus of hisses. He comes back with a fucking rattlesnake. Oh no.
So, about a minute later,
It's eager
walk
to
back.
meet you.
This one was eager to eat. I mean, meet you.
comes back in with it's not a garter snake. It's big, pretty big for like medium snakes. It's kind of curled up all the way from wrist to his shoulder, and seems to be both black and yellow with kind of, or black and red with yellow bands. This one seems to be along the same lines of what you want, and is willing to travel with you, given time and feed.
Alright. How much?
Just looks at the snake. The snake doesn't seem to be paying attention to him. It's just kind of looking around at other things in the shop, smaller fish and the like, along with the frogs. Seems to be very interested in the frogs.
Also, I should ask before I get this. Is this a poisonous snake? Or sorry, venomous snake? Might be poison.
It is venomous, yes.
Alright. Just want to make sure.
I kind of looks at it. He looks a little pained. I'll say to 5 gold.
5 gold?
Yes,
I'll
5
give you
gold. And just kind of sets the snake down on the counter, and then kind of holds its tail for as he ruffles around in the behind it for something. Pulls out a jingling, though very, very quietly, as there doesn't sound like there's all that many coins in there. To pull out a 5 copper, or 5 copper, goddamn, 5 gold to hand back to you.
Keep it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Well, thank you, I suppose.
Surprised that I was able to even get a
Big
snake
on
here.
heads.
Huh? Yeah.
Everyone, yeah.
He puts the coin in the thing and pushes it back behind the counter. And then hands the snake to you.
Yeah.
Oh, he tries. It doesn't really want to, like, let go of him. And so he has to kind of extract his arm from the snake's grip before it's able to hand it to you. It kind of
You seem to be
like hands it to you in like a coil, almost like a
Yeah.
rope.
You seem to be able to communicate with them far better than I. Does the snake have a name they would like to be called?
They don't tend to name themselves. At least the names that make any sense. That one, for instance, is... He thinks about it for a moment. I believe it's... But I might be wrong. There might be a sis or two missing from that.
Yeah, let's not go with that name.
It doesn't really make sense to us.
Anything you call them then?
I mean, I just call them by their names. But you can call it whatever you like. That sounds
Unfortunately,
right.
it's a bit long. So
They
we're
like
just going to go with
being
Stis
long.
for short.
They're snakes. They want to be long.
And not all snakes are that long.
Not all snakes are long, but all snakes wish to be long.
Ah, that's true.
He nods.
I thank you for helping me in this task. And I will leave with the snake.
Yeah. Snake acquired.
I will attempt to get to coil around me in some way so I don't have to carry it like a fucking rope.
Yeah, it seems to be pretty happy about coiling around your arm. Once you kind of give it enough gesturing, that will be okay.
I will transfer it over to my non-dominant arm for that.
Yep. I mean, it's pretty easy to convince it to just coil around the arm that you want. You just kind of have to gesture enough times.
It's like, hey, come on, can you just help me out here? And he's like, okay, fine.
Yep. So, in the meantime, while this is going on, what are Mo and Johnny doing?
I have no idea. Any ideas, Mo?
I'm muted. I was going to the edge of the city where we're probably going to be leaving.
Sure. Sounds good. That's what I do. Yes, sir.
Yep. Oh, you guys are hanging out by the edge of the city.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Unlike the gate you guys came through, where there really wasn't much of a crowd, this gate is significantly more, well, populated. Rather than just a handful of guards, there is an entire troop of them out this way. Most of them are up on the wall or inside the gate. There's only 4 of them outside. And there is a big long line of farmers and merchants rolling in slowly, being checked one by one.
Yeah, Johnny makes way.
I'd hope so. Johnny loses to a cart.
For now.
I quickly run under the cart and catch the ball.
Yep.
Johnny attaches the bomb to an arrow and fires it into the cart. That'll go off later, he thinks to himself.
Mo steers the cart to Johnny. Look what I found.
So, yep. I mean, it's, I don't know, hanging out outside a city.
Yeah.
Shooting the
I
shit.
just meant, like, what are me and Johnny, like, Lumpy doing? Why are we saying these things?
Doing a Looney Tunes skit? No idea.
Kind of punchy right now. Not gonna lie. Then I think we've solved our mystery. Mysteries. All right, we should leave them be. It's
So-
more natural that way.
On to the next group.
You guys are just gonna hang out the whole day. Hope they show up.
Well, I mean, didn't we agree we would? Wasn't that like the next to do?
I mean, probably, but I don't think it was actively discussed.
We could get a head start. No. We should wait. We considered our Lord and Savior Valens. Our Lord and Savior. Valens the Divine. Perfect. Well, you should. Wonderful.
They're cooler than Una, but no one's cooler than Una. So,
Rebirth, life anew. It's a good deal.
is the group going to rejoin at the gate leading in the direction you guys are going?
I mean, I'm going to whatever gate my dog that wants to murder me is going to be at.
That's
I
the
mean,
same gate I'm
Which
going
one
to.
did you discuss that? Because you guys would have been able to tell him which gate you were going to.
That's assuming I went back to the tavern. Oyeko's still mad at them.
I like how Oyuko's also mad at Johnny about this.
No, she's just permanently mad at you. It's a state of being.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Ayako's relationship tag has moved to hated constantly. Will not move.
She calls Johnny the bigot.
So which gate would you have told them?
I mean, I wouldn't have told him any gate.
I would have told him the gate at the side of the city we need to leave through to continue on.
Not
Yeah.
not to your party members, to Gad and his people.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Oh, I thought he arranged just like we'll meet you at this gate, and I was like, okay,
No.
yeah,
He
I
would
would
have arranged it so you guys would meet at the gate of your choosing.
yeah, okay, I would have chosen the gate we were planning on leaving through. Then
Are you guys doing anything else, or just kind of heading to that gate at the appropriate time?
Send me to that gate after I get my fucking stupid sneak.
I mean, you guys do have a little bit more time to kill before his people will show up with the dog.
I mean, I'll just get there in advance.
So, yep. You would see the rest of the group.
Good evening.
Howdy.
It is like midday at this point, at the very latest. Not even that, really.
It's Mosey.
Mo is a lot shorter than the rest of us.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
If you're short of the sun travels across the sky at a different rate.
Yeah, because if you're taller, then the rays, early morning rays, would hit you before they hit a shorter person.
So, yep. The group is rejoined. You guys are all now standing and watching the line of people.
Well, we have to wait a little bit. I fought a dire wolf that wants to kill me.
I mean, wants to kill all of us.
My goodness.
It just doesn't know the other two yet.
Doesn't know they exist, but by association, it probably wants to kill them.
It wants to kill everything.
I
Yeah,
bought
that's
a lot
why.
I bought a lot of meat. So this
Oh.
way, if it doesn't end up wanting to kill us and wants to hang around, well, I'll let it feed it. I'm sure it can fend for itself, but
How long?
prepared.
How long can we keep this meat before it goes off?
I don't know.
If it's raw
Popping
meat,
off.
not very long. Meat, go off! Meat!
Worst case scenario, I'll just cook it. It's not that big of a deal. It's just 12 gold.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I paid more for that meat than I paid for my snake.
Just 12 gold. Freaking family's worth of, like,
That's
years
like-
worth of work.
That's like a month worth of fucking just normal shit.
A month.
That's a month with comfortable lifestyle, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Just
A month
12
at, like, noble rankings of, like, lesser nobles rank of worth of food and whatnot. Like a peasant, that's a year's. But,
Keeps the peasant's meat.
not quite that poor. They are very poor in comparison to you guys.
You spent 120 days of fucking poor in-stay. Fuck.
So, yep. If nothing you guys are doing, then at around noonish, a cart rolls out from the city holding a covered, very angry sounding something. One of the people pulling it goes and notices you guys and heads in your direction.
Oh, hello.
Kind of looks at the sky. Yeah, I guess. You're the ones that ordered the dog, yeah?
That'd be us.
Alright. He just sets a key into your hand. And then takes a few dozen steps back. It's all yours. We're gonna take the cart when you're done, though.
All right. Thank you very much.
You do see a couple of, like, the pair of the guards on this side of the gate kind of look over in your direction and get a little more ready to duke it out with something.
Before we let this thing go, I would like to attempt to communicate that we are going to let it go. Please do not kill anyone on the way out.
Yeah, well,
I mean, the
hold
cage
on.
is currently, like, they threw a blanket over it, so.
Uwe, make sure you communicate that we're also perfectly happy to have him travel with us. And I have a lot of meat.
Yeah, okay.
I will also walk up,
It's
by the way.
aware that you have meat.
Yeah, it can smell it.
I mean, are you
Yeah.
pulling the thing off, or are you just talking through the covering?
I will pull the thing off.
Yep.
I'll also toss some meat in there to it so it can eat before it comes out, so it can be nice and strong when he tries to kill everyone.
You'll have the bloodlust already.
It goes and picks it up from the cage floor and chews it pretty fast.
It's hungry.
Yes, I will attempt to communicate. Hey, do not kill us. We are going to let you go. If you would like to continue traveling with us, sure. But if you want to leave, you can leave.
Yeah. It just kind of looks at you and goes, it seems a little happier now that it's out of a building and back out, even if this is not, well, the friendliest of locations. Just kind of looks at you. And you seem to get the distinct sense that it wants out, and if you let it leave, it will leave without tangling with you guys. But it
I'll
has
give it-
no wish to travel with you guys.
I'll give it some more meat though. If it was still looking hungry after I, toss some meat very undramatically into its cage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it takes the meat.
I will get off to the side of the cage and open it after it is finished eating.
Yep. Yeah, basically the moment the lock comes undone, the thing just freaking slams into the side of the cage and the door slams down into the cart. And it is basically gone unless someone is standing directly in front of the cage. Which I'm guessing none of you were deciding
There's a
that.
reason I said I was going off to the side.
Yeah, well, I'm asking the other three. Any of them had that as a good idea?
No, sir.
Mo stands in front of the cage and just is turned into a pancake instantaneously. Mo just becomes a pelt.
Yep, but it bolts for the woods.
Well, those wolf didn't want to travel with us, but
It's a direwolf.
Well, yeah, that's why I didn't expect it to.
You got the, well, the distinct sense when you were talking with it that it was looking for someone or something. And you were not the thing, so.
Hey, roughly how much gold worth of meat did it eat?
How much did you throw at it?
Let's just say two gold worth. Why not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a big wolf, so.
It's a horse. Sorry, a wolf the size of a horse, and a wolf can eat 1/4 of its body mass in one sitting. So that thing could have probably eaten all of the meat.
Mm-hmm.
I say probably no, it could have eaten all the meat. That was what, 20 pounds?
Something like that.
A normal wolf could have eaten that much meat.
They're big.
Yeah.
Wow. Yep. It bolts off into the woods. Without
Alright.
so much as a thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we
People
lost the
come-
mascot.
Yeah, the people kind of slowly return to the cart and collect it along with the key and roll it back into the city.
Well, there you go. We didn't gain a mascot, but you did a good thing.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
I mean,
Might
you
take
did
a
just
lot of
release a
work.
monster into the outside world of this city, so it is possible. Another source will retrieve it again.
That's
Like-
not our problem anymore.
Might take a kid or two before it gets caught, but you know. Darwin.
Yep. Morality +1.
Listen, being morally gray is the way to do it. If you aren't morally gray, then fuck you.
Morally gray is morally great.
If you aren't morally gay,
When
if you aren't
comes to
morally
each
gray, then
other
you're
or
morally
anyone
gay.
else, don't worry, you will not get any additional morality pings. It's not your problem anymore.
Yeah. Listen, we've stopped animal cruelty, which means that anyone who gets fucked over, you know, it's basically their fault.
So, yep. Wolf kind of attained. And then
It'll
instantly
show up
released.
again later.
You show up again when it turns out the person I was looking for was bone.
It'll show up again when it turns out that the person it was looking for was someone who we failed to save in a fight, and it will blame us. And it will be angry. And it will also have 12 fighter levels.
Could you imagine that? The wolf freaking disarms you.
Here's the thing: the wolf would disarm me, and I'd disarm it back. Start ripping out teeth.
Can't disarm natural weapons though.
Not with that attitude.
That's why monks are freaking nuts. I see you've disarmed me of my stick.
But you
Let
can't
me
disarm me of
test
this, and you just fucking break their nose.
Yep. It's also why monks are the best party member to hand the torch to, because monks don't need their hands.
Nice disarm, but I see the disarm and raise you my fucking leg and kick him in the face.
Yeah.
I raise you sick elbow strikes.
The unarmed martial attacks that monks can do come from literally their whole body. It is not possible to disarm a monk.
You can literally shoulder check someone to kill them if you want to as a monk, which is fucking hilarious.
Headbutts, yeah, etc., etc. But, yep. Back to the line.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to attempt to follow Mo's line?
I'm instead going to follow the line that I have been following this entire time. I'm just gonna trust my own instincts.
Alright, go ahead and roll survival. To try and re-find it. Alright. I mean, as before, there are no tracks, so... But
Well,
you're
5 feet out of town, go,
pretty
found it.
sure- Yeah. You're pretty sure you've kind of gotten back on the line you were following before.
Man, I always really hope I'd roll that one, because it'd be very funny.
It turns out you do need Mo's path.
Yeah. But there's also something funny about getting a 25 and, like, just going... all the work Mo did, and just going, found it. It's been 5 seconds. Let's go.
Yep. It does seem to lead towards that big hill, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, going over the hill or around the hill?
Let's go. You know what they say in ranger school? Difficult terrain is for fucking pussies.
Unfortunately, difficult terrain and literally vertical terrain are unfortunately two different things.
Difficult terrain is for fucking pussies.
In that case, we'll go through it.
Alright, boys. Who's got the pickaxe?
I don't know. We'll just have Johnny walk into it, and his stubbornness will eventually let him through.
The correct answer is probably just go around it. Because there is a small chance. And you ain't the only one special, bitch. There's a chance
Looks
that
like a pickaxe in its art.
yeah, it's weird.
I think because the rest of the shovel fills that rest of that corner, so it doesn't fully look like a shovel. But
No, I think it literally is just a pick, honestly. I think that the art they use is literally just a pick.
so, yeah, over or around the mountain,
I
legit.
think around is the correct choice.
Okay. So you make it into the foothills, which of course don't slow you guys much down, and are able to track around the mountain. And you do find a wooden peg just kind of sitting in the middle of your path. I mean, it's off a little bit to the left, but it's pretty close along the line.
I'm just gonna keep going.
Yep. So
So we saw some bag off the line.
Someone fucking forgot their tent peg, I guess.
Yeah. Well, fuck 'em. We don't have time. We don't have time to do that side quest.
rescue the tent peg. So, yep, you guys make your way around the hill. It's not really a mountain; it's a big hill, but it does eat up quite a few hours tracking around it. It's still a ways.
To be fair, we're already like fucking 6-7 days behind. I'm pretty sure a few hours could be spared.
Well, it's mostly just the rest of today is mostly what I was thinking of, as the sun does start to track downward as you reach the other side.
Alright. Time to set up camp.
So you are able to re-find that line when you make it to the other side, but it is around 4. You have probably like an hour before the sun goes down entirely. So, I mean, do you guys want to stop by the mountain, or do you want to keep pushing onward along the line a little ways?
I mean, what monsters can be found in the mountains that will come and kick the shit out of us for no reason?
None.
There's this dire wolf. So you,
This close to the city, probably very, very few.
Might as well fucking
There-
rest here,
I
then.
mean, there's no way a dire wolf would come this close. Nor would we be caught with such large amounts of meat on us to attract something like that.
hey, Yako's gonna start cooking that meat tonight. Actually,
Ah, well, that'll be
That'll swamp
scare
the
'em.
Yeah.
smell.
Yeah.
you know what? And he'll come visit, and we'll have a lovely meal.
Well, he'll have a lovely meal. We'll have a lovely meal. Somebody will.
So,
Don't be so pessimistic, man.
yep. You guys want to roll watches?
Yeah, I do.
No. Fuck you.
We'll be
Not
stopping
the world.
after tonight, so poor Lumpy is
Hey, good roll.
not forced to try.
No,
I'm excited about the snake I found.
I've never seen more clearly than I do now.
Can the snake help me on watch?
My third eye is open.
I mean, no.
Damn.
It's not really trained to be like, hey, master, I see something.
Time to start training it.
So, you guys are still fairly close to the city, so most of the major beasties are still holding off. But up the mountainside, you do see a couple of small camps that are set up on this side, not the opposite. The opposite side, of course.
One by one, over the course of the night, you slowly watch them wink out.
I mean, yeah. They go to sleep at some point.
No. That's not allowed around here.
But, yep, a couple of those, and I mean, no one's stopping like near you guys because you're not on a real path. Path ended on the other side with the mining. But yeah, Echo, your watch is fairly quiet for the first couple hours. At around hour, like 3.5, almost towards the end, you notice something is missing. There's just a
yeah?
lack of something. You can't quite put your finger on it, but you know something is gone
Why does this keep happening during my watches?
because the dice don't like you. I do roll randomly if there's an event where when in the watch it happens, and it just
I
so
hear you
happens it
like
rolls
that.
yours a lot.
I guess I'll sort of run through all my shit at least and see if any of that is missing.
Nope. All your stuff seems to be still there.
Well, at least it's not my stuff. I guess she'll go around and start checking. Well, she doesn't know other people's things is the thing.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you seem to be missing something. How do you know I'm missing something? Have you been going through my pack?
Well, you
With
said
my
this was
pack?
like probably like a half an hour before my watch ends, about.
Yeah, around there.
Fuck it, we'll wake up Guve early. Hi, good morning. Good midnight.
Just wake someone up an
I
hour
think it's
before
either of
their
those two
watch starts
things.
and say it's their watch now.
Alright. What's up?
What
do
does
you
he
want?
have
What do
to
you
watch?
Hey, could you look around the camp for me really quickly?
need? Sure.
I think we got robbed again.
I grabbed the gun and
no,
I
okay, slow down. I'm not sure what of ours
I
got
start
robbed.
looking around, I guess.
You might want to check your things. I noticed something was missing. It's nothing of mine, thankfully.
Sis is gone. What the fuck, bro?
Oh, it actually looks silly me. It's Mo.
Oh, glad it wasn't anything important. Go to sleep. I mean, I'll look through my stuff and see if anything's missing.
There does seem to be something different about Oyeko when you kind of wake up and are told something is missing. Something on her person. And
Where's
then
the
kind of
frog?
like looking her over, all of a sudden you notice there is in fact something missing. There's no frog.
I fucking called it.
Yeah.
Where's the frog?
I mean, he's right here. Where is the frog? Well, that's not good at all. Frog? Frog?
Where's Sis?
Frog?
Sis is currently just kind of hanging out near the campfire.
Like, I would have felt something if he got grabbed.
He's all wrapped. He's all coiled up next to it. Well,
Now, I'm only checking this because of what you said earlier.
Yeah.
Did Sis eat the fucking frog?
I mean, are you going to wake up the snake and ask?
I mean, I'm pretty sure that I could just check for like an outline in it.
Mm-hmm. There doesn't seem to be any outline in it.
Okay, good. I'm not going to bring up that that was a possibility. I'm just gonna be like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, it is coiled currently next to the fire, so it's a little hard to see. You'd have to kind of stretch it out to really look at it, but it doesn't look like there's any bulge in it.
Oyeko is gonna look for any frog prints.
Hot marks.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, yeah, I'll
You-
like peer around for the frog.
Well, I guess yeah. Go ahead and roll survival, considering it's not actually all that easy to find out here.
Both of us?
Whoever is looking for the prince, unless you're helping.
No, Oyeko is. She likes that frog. She is in full freak out mode.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you
I
do
told
in
the frog
fact
I'd forget.
find some prints leading off towards the mountain.
I will immediately just start booking
Hitting
it that way.
directly into Sis's mouth. It's just all up.
I do not wish to exist in this world anymore. Snake, help.
Change the world. My final message.
So yeah, Oyeko, you see, or Oyeko, Guve, you see Oyeko see something in the area, kind of at the edge of camp, and then bolt off in that direction.
You need help?
If you hear me screaming in pain, yeah, but otherwise I should be fine. You have half an hour before your watch.
Don't worry, the snake will keep watch for you for the last half hour. It'll let your corpse know that it really likes your eyeballs.
Rude.
So,
I guess I'm just going to sit down with my fucking gun and wait for the scream.
Yep.
It's a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
So, yep. You tear off into the woods, and after you kind of get beyond the campfire light, like even in the... No, actually, what moon is out tonight?
Also, as a note, I will be using my primeval awareness to see if anything fucky goes on with space.
Yep. I mean, it hasn't messed with your whole campsite at one time, but...
Yeah, but someone's currently sprinting out of our campsite.
Yeah, you'll
That's the
notice
thing
if,
I'm more worried about.
if she all of a sudden poofs.
Yep.
Although, to be fair, you actually don't know if that's how it works outside of it, or if it's just something really screwing with your perception.
Yeah, you're right, I don't, so I'm working off of assumptions, which is just what you have to do when working with this shit.
Yep.
You just have to make assumptions and hope they're true.
Interesting. There are 3 moons out tonight, very strong, and moons are the, actually kind of nicely, Phelak, Delak, and Slaylak, the moons of illusion, necromancy, and divination. Meaning silver, white, and gold is kind of the trio. But yeah, as I was about to say before I reminded myself I should probably roll for which moons are out tonight. Once you kind of get beyond the kind of area of your camp, like the dark vision range for the most part, though you wouldn't know that, the tracks seem to be a lot easier to find, as they seem to be kind of silvery. So you can follow them very easily.
I will. At as quick of a pace I can manage.
Yep. I mean, you're in the woods, but they're fairly thin woods. The trees are all still fairly young and set pretty far apart. So you follow the tracks without too many issues. It seems to be moving pretty quick, as the hops are like full, like 5-foot jumps rather than kind of the little, like, walking. And after following them for a good 10 minutes, you eventually find a little pool, which kind of set into the bottom of the mountainside.
Oh, Frog? Frog, you in there?
You do see a frog, but you just get this sense that it's not the frog.
Where are you?
It just kind of is jetting around the pool at night.
And quickly, I mean, how big of a pool is this? Like, how far across?
I mean, it's a pretty small pool on the outside, but it does look like it kind of moves inward. Like there's a kind of an underwater area that leads further into the, into the mountainside. The outside part's only like 10 feet across. It's very small. It doesn't even look that deep either. Only maybe 2 to 3 feet at the very deepest.
Okay. Looking around it, is there any frog tracks?
Only the ones that led you directly to the pool. There are none outside of it that are kind of showing the same silvery light.
I said I'd protect him. Time to take my armor off. I mean, how hard is it to swim up while wearing chainmail?
I believe it's a disadvantage would be it.
Yeah, the thing is, Yeko is turbo worried for this thing. She told him she'd protect him. So yeah, she's just gonna jump. She's gonna go into the pool.
All right.
Oh,
I mean,
start
the
swimming.
Yeko barely has to wade into the pool. So,
Yeah, you said that there's
at
like
least for
a
the first few
underground
steps.
spot.
Yeah, but you kind of have to like crouch and get underwater because that spot gets a lot deeper all of a sudden.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
allows you to swim.
I will be going in there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you swim down a tunnel that, like, at first when you put your head under, you can't see it. So, other than the little bit of moonlight, but it definitely goes beyond the little bit of moonlight outside. And yeah, you swim and swim and swim, and right when it finally feels like your lungs are going to give up on you, you break the surface and find yourself in a small cave.
This is like a nightmare.
By the way, at this point, Peyton, Oyeko goes, "Ba-doop," and just vanishes from like a mile away to there is no more Oyeko.
All right. Fucking kick Johnny.
It's just like a fucking. It's just a fucking conga line.
Follow each
I'll
other.
be right back.
Weird frog cave.
And I then take off at a sprint.
I mean, you
Hey,
can
Mo.
follow Oyeko's tracks pretty well.
Hey,
However,
Mo.
the silvery tracks that I mentioned to Oyeko don't exist for you.
What?
If everyone else is getting their sleep messed with, you're getting your sleep messed with too.
I like the hey Mo. What? Silence. Mo goes back to sleep.
That's because he said "Hey Mo" and then fell asleep himself.
No, I was just like kidding. I wasn't actually waking Mo up.
Oh.
That'd be fucked up, man.
Kick Mo. Hey Mo, I'm gonna go to sleep.
Yo, watch out. Dark morning. See you in the afternoon.
So, yeah. Echo, you're in the little cave.
Frog? Frog, are you in here?
As you speak, the cave itself seems to kind of like have light that appear and then kind of vanish. It is very, very dark, but with their kind of pulses almost. You see this cave is almost icy. It's at least covered in some sort of bluish crystal. And kind of as you see it, it's almost like your body is reminded, oh, it's cold. As you start to shiver.
Frog? Frog? No, just keep walking if I don't hear him respond.
No response.
Frog, come in. Frog.
Well, other than whenever you say frog, the light kind of pulses.
Now I'll go towards the light.
Yep.
When in strange locations, always walk towards the light.
So, as you're walking down the corridor, the cold doesn't let up, but at least it doesn't get any worse. And as you kind of say it, frog, you come to a three-way.
Oh no.
There are no frog prints, by the way. It's all
Frog?
just kind of ice and stone.
And does the when I
The
say
light-
frog, the light, does it pulse in any of them?
Not at any of them. It pulses directly above you, but gives you at least a view of the different paths. The leftmost one seems to be covered in greenery. The center one seems to be kind of continuing of what you're currently traveling down. Cold, ice, blue. And the last seems to be warmer, like significantly warmer. Like you're kind of surprised that the ice is still being ice.
Were you visited by those? They kidnapped Frog. Let's see. That was a nice one. That one was kind of nice, and Winter was the mean one. Winter would probably be the one that kidnapped Frog.
I thought somebody just wanted to chat with Frog.
But I suppose I could probably get. Spring was nice. I got it. Oyeko will take a left. So she can tell me something.
Yep. At this point, you make it to the little pool. Which there is a frog in. Just kind of moving around. Or for Cuvée, if that wasn't clear.
No, I heard. I was just thinking what to do next.
Mm-hmm.
There's a frog that's moving around.
Yep.
Is it the frog? Is it frog?
I mean, the frog looks just like most other frogs, so...
Yeah.
I mean, you can sense and see, because that frog did not come back as, I'm a frog! It came back as, I'm freaking not a frog!
Yeah, I will attempt to primal awareness, because I believe that's what happened last time, as I tried to do that, and it was just like, what?
Yep. This is just a normal frog.
Okay.
Like, it looks over in your direction and gives you a, why are you trying to talk with me, look.
And the tracks end with Oyeko going to the pool?
Yep. At least that's where Oyeko
wading into the
tracks down.
pool.
Yep. Kind of looking around at the mountainside, you do see the cave. Or the tunnel. And you can see it lasts longer than your dark vision. Mostly, Oyeko's a strong swimmer. You're not quite so effective at it.
Yeah. But I also like Oyeko. Drowning? Not drowning. Oh, Yakko's like the one from the party I like at this point.
I mean, I think Johnny still has that weird crystal thing that allowed them to breathe.
I do.
You could go see if it works.
I have no idea what's going on.
I mean, for.
I mean, how long did it take for me to get here is the question.
I mean, you guys are both running, so it's about the same time. It's like half an hour. No, 15 minutes. About there.
It should be noted, even in the cave, Oyeko is still hustling.
I can drown for 15 minutes.
I have 1 minute of air, and you know what? Sometimes you just gotta go on faith, I guess.
God, I'm gonna try to swim back out. There's gonna be a dead body in the way.
Yeah, that'd be very funny.
Give a corkscrew.
I
and you
will
just drown.
get rid of as much equipment as I can to lighten the load. Except for, well, the gun isn't gonna be fucking helpful down here because it's gonna get wet.
Are you afraid to get wet?
The gun is terrified.
So I will. I guess I'm only taking my fucking armor and a fucking short sword. Armor, short sword, and knife.
All right.
You know what? We'll bring the ear hook too. It's a good luck charm.
So dive into the cave. All right. I'm going to have you roll.
Yep. Athletics, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you make progress, but you still don't see the end. Give me, I guess, 2 more. That'll determine how well this goes. So,
That
yeah.
averages out to about 10 each time. The average on that is 10. Which is not good when you're rolling with a +3.
Yeah. So, you make good progress, at least for like a good stretch. But as your lungs start to complain, you still don't see the end. This is your opportunity to back out.
Yeah, we back out.
Yep. So,
Go back up for air.
Damn.
you make it back and are still conscious and alive, which is good.
Catch my breath, and then round 2.
All right. In the meantime, Oyeko, you walk into the warmer area and notice that the light is now not the only thing following you, as there are, well, following. There's more lights, effectively. Small mushrooms as well as other plant life. It just gives off a soft bioluminescent greens and yellows, which give you enough light to at least see by. But the cavern just continues onward. At least opens up a little bit, which is nice. Gives the plants a little bit of area to breathe. But
Oyeko is still running and
Yep.
periodically saying frog.
after about another 5 minutes of running down this passageway, you eventually come to another pool, which seems to be the dead end of this cavern.
Hello? Is there anyone? Frog? Frog's mom?
From the pool, you do see a something. It's a little hard to tell, as the plants in this room in particular seem to have grown a little smaller as a result of something. So there's really only low light and kind of vaguely humanoid shape that comes out of the water, just kind of looks at you. It barely can be called even really humanoid. Like, it has a vague head and its limbs, but there are no features and there's no fingers or anything like that. But it does seem to be at least looking at you.
Hi. Hello.
Yep. It echoes your greeting exactly. in your voice.
That's neat. Have you seen Frog?
It just kind of stands there before splashing down. And the pool is all of a sudden filled with frog.
Like my frog or just frogs?
Your frog.
Frog.
Like hundreds of frog, all jumping and kind of crawling over one another. They all seem to be ignoring you.
Yeah, that one, that frog.
They all kind of turn towards you at one and start to hop or swim in your direction.
I don't remember there being this many of you, but one of you.
As they reach the edge, they start to surge, a wall of little frogs.
I guess I'll just sort of brace for the impact.
Well, they swarm over you, just kind of jumping, getting on your equipment. They're covered in slime. They don't seem to be attacking you, though.
But yeah, Frog and I get along great.
Yeah. But they are just hopping all around you.
Can you tell me what's going on, please?
And at your question, the swarm of frogs just kind of disintegrate back into water and flow back into the pool. And the figure just reforms and says basically asks your question back to you exactly as you spoke it.
Where is Frog?
It does repeat it back, but this time it sounds more not you. Like, it's still your voice, but it sounds distorted. As if something is, like, actively trying to mimic you, but doing it just a little bit wrong.
Are you alright? You messed up my voice that time.
And finally, at this point, it seems to form into the form of an actual, like, creature, rather than just a blob of water with a vague humanoid form. It still seems to be made entirely out of water, but it's more sharp. And the lights in the room do seem to kind of grow in strength a little bit. As a woman that seems to be made entirely out of water, hair blue, eyes, though, more ice than sea, along with kind of sea green clothing. And she just asks, "Why do you seek one of my sons, mortal?"
He's been traveling with me for a long time now, and I promised him I'd protect him.
He is but young.
Yeah, well,
Her eyes narrow, the icy glare. In this case, seemingly literally, as the air in the room seems to drop back down to that frigid temperature.
look, he chose to come with me. His mother left. There was well, she had to. She fled. There was this. Do we know that it's called a Watcher? I think we learned that.
I mean, I think you heard its name at some point.
She was chased out by a Watcher. Terrifying beast with one big eyeball. I fought it. I lived.
I am well aware of what a Watcher is. And yet you willingly allow one of my children to walk along the same path that leads towards it. Directly in his view, no less.
Yeah, I do. I don't know. Look, if Frog wants to stay here, he can. Okay? I don't, but I.
She just kind of scoffs. Frog.
I always asked his name, he never told me, so I would call him Frog, he'd respond.
Oh, right. Forget names are not of any import to you. Just casually give them to any such thing. They hold no true value.
My name's Oyeko, by the way.
Feel your soul disappear.
Yeah. I mean, you do feel different after you state your name. A kind of slight feeling of dread just kind of leaching into the back of your mind. Now, whether it's yours or whether this something the creature is bestowing on you is hard to tell. They are, in fact, naturally magical, so it's not surprising that they would have something along those lines. In the meantime, Gouvet, you're giving it another shot?
Yeah.
All right, give me another trio.
This time I'll take off my fucking boots.
Ah, that was holding you back. It actually has webbed feet. Nope.
Nope, the boots
Put
were
the boots
helping.
back on.
apparently.
Sticks her head underwater, takes a deep breath.
I mean, you make it further this time, but you kind of force yourself a little too far. And either it's going to be a force yourself to the end or flee never, basically, actually.
Yeah, all right. We're all in now, I guess.
Yep. All right, go ahead and give me one more. And pray for it to be good. Nice.
Good.
Yeah. So right as your last bit of oxygen's about to leave you and you're about to lose consciousness, your head breaks the surface and you're able to take a deep breath.
Part 5. They almost fucking drowned.
And you find yourself in a dark cave.
Climb my way out, put on boots, and hopefully there's a trail of water that I can follow.
Yeah, there in fact is a nice big trail of wet boot prints leading away from the side of one of the sides of the pool.
I would be taking off at a fucking full sprint.
Mm-hmm. Now, at some point, the boot prints will fade and cease being all wet. Which seems like a lot faster than it really should, as the walls go from being icy to being a little less cold and seemingly a little warmer, more covered in plants. The plants don't glow in your presence, but you recognize several species that probably should be glowing. Mushrooms and the like, of course. Wow. Yep. Back to Oyeko. The creature just kind of looks at you, a fan just kind of appearing in her hand, a wave. It's all still made of what she's made out of. It seems to be kind of ice rather than water.
So you said that Frog was one of your sons. Frog talks about his mother a lot. Is that you? I'm not too familiar with the bonds of demon kind.
I suppose if I were to use your, failed generations, you might call me its grandmother.
I see.
It's not the right term, but it is at least the closest thing that I can give you. It would still make sense.
You know, most of the demons I've spoken to have not been very straightforward, so I actually really appreciate it. Do you mind being straightforward for one really important question, the most important question I've asked yet?
May you have my son back?
I was actually going to ask if he was safe.
Of course. Well, he is foolish. I am not willing to slay one of my own kin due to their own, poor choices.
Could I speak with him?
She just kind of looks at you for a moment, seemingly considering, but it is a very short moment before she shakes her head. I don't think that will be in the cards tonight, dearie.
So you're just gonna keep him here?
Until you move on, yes.
And then what?
And then I shall release him, and he can go back to wherever he wishes.
Wait, that just is gonna be leaving him alone in the world. He's so young.
We're all so young at one time. True, I sometimes forget that age, but
Didn't you have anyone
even
that cared for
demons
you?
grow young. I'm sorry, what did you ask?
I asked if they had anyone that cared for them when they were young.
No, of course. Though my mother was not nearly so kind.
Sorry to hear that. So that's it. You're just gonna set Frog loose on his own. And you children I saw.
You'll be safer away from you. Outside of the Watcher's eyesight, it should be significantly safer than the path you walk.
Probably right, but
You don't even know how caught up in its eyes you really have fallen.
I think
I can't in good conscience allow one of my children to walk in that same path.
I mean, you're right, but setting him loose without anyone to look after him? You have to understand, I want Frog to be safe too. I'm not saying this out of like greed or anything. Like, oh, he's been traveling with me forever, and I have grown attached to him. Don't get me wrong. I'm very protective of him, but
If you shall turn from your current course, I may consider it at a later time.
I can't turn from my current course.
Well,
As you
then
mentioned,
I think our conversation is finished. He starts to kind of reform back into the pool.
what do I have to do to prove myself to you?
He does stop at the question. Prove. What could a mortal prove?
What will it take for you to trust me?
Trust. That is not something that you shall ever find given freely from me for your lifetime. Perhaps one of your companions, but I doubt that they would be quite so interested in giving such a thing. And
why
one
would
of them I
not
would
be?
never agree regardless. Twisted as they are.
Two of them are twisted, for the record.
Let's see, you don't know which. Well, I shan't ruin that particular game quite yet. I don't want its gaze on me.
But why can they gain your trust, but not me?
They will live significantly longer than you will, dear.
Oh, that's all it is? Well, you might be surprised. I've got a lot of living left yet.
No. He just shoots you.
Wouldn't be surprised.
In the grand scheme of things, dear, you shall only live a small time.
Oh, I'm aware of that, but I'm just saying I can get a lot done in that small time.
That is very true. Your kind do have a knack for making all sorts of messes with your small lives. And fixing some of them.
So, I have a question about this place. Is this like a place between places? Or is it like is this actually just here in this mountain?
That is not a question you want answered.
Probably not. It's okay, better question. Do you have the ability to, in the future,
Appear
contact-
to you?
Yes.
Of course.
Oh, that's a big relief, actually.
This world is covered in water. It is my home.
So, I'll prove myself to you. I'll earn your trust. And then we can work something out. Because right now, you're not gonna work anything out with me, I know.
Kind of fans herself, pushing it up over her nose so you can only see her eyes. I suppose I am somewhat curious. I have not met one who's quite so driven to punch themselves quite so severely. Perhaps it shall be an entertaining show.
Yeah, maybe it'll be an entertaining show, or maybe you'll be really surprised.
She closes her fan and just kind of breaks one of the steins and just kind of tosses it at the earth beneath you, which is like solid stone from what you can see, but the spike just seems to drive into it a good few inches. Take that, and we shall see whether or not you prove to be quite as honest as you believe yourself.
Right?
And
I
with
love
that,
it.
she just kind of collapses back into the pool entirely.
I will take it.
Yep. And at this point, Guve, you run around the corner and see Oyeko holding a icicle. At least it looks like an icicle.
The icicle in weapons.
Yep.
Icicle.
It is very
gonna-
cold.
Fucking stop and go. Did you find Frog?
In a way, I guess. In a way.
Yep.
Fuck.
Also,
I gotta take more
as you
swimming
kind of are,
lessons.
taking in your surroundings after finding Oyeko, find yourself next to a pool, but it is a pool surrounded by cold ice rather than plant life.
Well, this isn't what I was running through a second ago.
Frog's with his grandma.
Park has a grandma.
Apparently, he always was talking about his mother, but I guess this is... Well, I don't know. The demon family trees are weird, but Frog's grandma described themselves as Frog's grandma.
Christ.
And they explained that they were just not willing to let me have Frog because it wasn't safe for Frog to be with me. Which is true.
That was it. That's what this was all for.
Well, I got this. Wave the icicle. Because I claimed that I would be able to prove myself to
And
the demon.
what is that specifically?
I don't know. They just told me to take it. And look, if it gives me the chance to prove myself to the demon, make them trust me, because I mean, I don't really have anything to hide.
You know, I don't think you're very lucky in the whole Demon Trust department, if I'm honest.
Maybe not. I'm definitely luckier with the demon encounters I've had than the party members I've obtained.
Yeah, that's fair.
How did you get here?
By almost drowning, mostly.
You really shouldn't have followed that. You could have died.
Well, yeah. You think I just fucking recognize that?
Guve?
You're the one who almost drowned back there. You don't need to tell me that.
Guve. In the
Yeah.
future, if I put myself into situations like this, particularly when it involves, like, swimming and the like,
I can swim fine, okay?
that was a long tunnel. I barely made it.
Yeah, so did I. It's very obvious that we both probably barely made it, given that we're both standing here.
Look, my point is, just be more careful. Alright?
Listen, I come a level with you, alright?
Look, I already lost Frog tonight. I might be able to see him again in the future, but if I had to end up friggin' traveling with just Johnny and Mo,
And you want to curse me that same fate if you don't return?
I would.
Fuck off! No.
Look, Guve.
Yeah.
Of course I'm gonna return. I said I would, right?
I don't think you actually did.
I implied it. Anyway,
You just kind of.
I said I'd protect
You
Frog.
said frog. And you said something about the frog and just ran.
Well, I said I'd protect Frog, and I mean, I can't protect Frog very well if I'm dead.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you're gonna return. You could just be trapped down here for the next few years.
Oh yeah, then you showing up would really help. Well, okay, look.
Listen, all right.
Look, it's water. Under
Demons
the bridge.
love me.
It's water under the yeah, they actually kind of do.
Hmm?
It's water under the bridge, though.
What do you mean
Be
they actually kind of
surprised.
do?
Well, based on the experiences you've had, I guess those have to
That's
help
true.
demons.
Well, I mean,
And we're back.
Anyway,
I'm not sure they
check-
love me.
Did you check either of the other two tunnels?
Multiple tunnels.
Yeah.
I'm be honest, everything was kind of a blur.
There was this one, there was the ice tunnel, and then there was the extra warm tunnel.
Did I see 2 other tunnels?
Nope. There was one tunnel the whole way.
Are you sure there were 2 tunnels?
There were 3 tunnels. Aside, well, this one and 2 others.
Are you sure there were 3 tunnels?
Yeah, there was the icy one, this one with all the plant life, and then the really warm one. So I figured I was back talking to spring, winter, and summer again.
What spring, winter, and summer have supposed to do with this?
Well, really cold, bunch of life, and really warm.
I think that was just them deciding how you want to die should this conversation go poorly.
Maybe? I don't know. I chose this one because I thought maybe spring would be here, and, you know, spring was nice.
Yeah, sure.
Well, now we're in a pickle, though. It was hard enough for me to swim back. It would be hard enough for me to swim back on my own. Now I've got to make sure you survive.
I know how to swim.
Not as well as me. Look,
Well, I got down here, all right?
Okay, you're going
Listen,
in front of
if
me.
you're really so worried about me, just swim up ahead of time and fucking bring a rope back or something. Just fucking tie something heavy to the end
I
of the
don't-
rope and throw it down.
I don't feel like we have that much rope.
I mean, I have 50. That's 50 feet.
Well, I have 50 feet on me right now. I didn't really drop anything.
Oh, yeah, I kind of also left most of my equipment up there.
Look, it's fine. Just you swim in front of me. I'll go
If I
after
swim in
you.
front of you and pass out, isn't it going to be like just guaranteeing that you you drown with me though?
I'll just pull you along. How much room? Was there enough room in the tunnel
Sure,
for
fine.
me to be able to pull someone along if I'm swimming up?
Probably, yeah. I mean, keep in mind, you couldn't really see the tunnel for the most part, so But it was big enough for you to like swim through.
Alright, listen, I'm sure it'll be fine. That one.
That would be very unfortunate.
That'd be fucking funny. This is how I fucking go out. Not with a bang, but with a whimper.
Don't worry. Oh yeah, go. I'll save you. Drowns.
You know what? I got down here. It would have been very funny if I drowned getting down here. That would have been fucking hilarious.
Yep.
Oh, time to start heading back to camp.
Yeah. You guys swim down the 10-foot tunnel. It's fine.
That wasn't nearly as bad.
Why couldn't they have made it 10 feet for me? What the fuck? I wasn't even the target of this.
I just have all that big long conversation. Don't worry, I'll go first to make sure you make it 10 feet.
Oh,
Get down there. Oh, it was so easy. What the hell?
You know what, Arieko? I made a decision. I fucking hate his grandmother.
Hey, she honestly. So here's the thing. You know how demons are always talking in riddles and you can't understand a word they say?
No.
Oh, well, they are. She wasn't.
Half time they don't even talk to me. Continue.
She was very honest about everything. So I kind of
I
like her.
think it's
I
more
do
than
have
half the
this
time.
impending sense of dread, though. Don't know why.
Yeah?
Well, so we were talking, and she said names or something we gave out like so freely. So I realized I hadn't introduced myself, so I introduced myself, and then
So
I
upon
scared-
hearing that names are something that you do not give out freely, probably for good reason, you gave out your name.
look, Guve. I want, even before I started talking about the trust thing, I wanted to be able to earn that demon's trust. And you can't earn someone's trust without giving them your name.
No, you can.
No, of course not.
Huh? You can trust someone without knowing their name.
I guess, but I just think it's better. If it lets
You
it,
would be pretty fucked if you couldn't.
if it lets it, lets Frog's grandma screw with me or something, you know what? So be it. I'll prove myself through it anyway. I don't know. I'll figure it out from there.
I mean, think back at I've had like 3 encounters with demons, and in 2 of them they didn't even say a word to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't have Demon Whisperer with you.
No, I didn't. I preferred those 2 though. I had a nice time. Got a dance. I didn't get fucking people telling me how fucked I am.
Wait, who's watching the camp?
Johnny,
Oh, okay.
don't worry, Sis there with him.
That was where you were gonna say
Keep
Mom.
in check.
Don't worry, Sis is there with them. Sis
Yeah.
asleep. Johnny.
Yeah.
Somewhat asleep.
Maybe I should have left with the hook. Maybe that's what made that thing longer. Still associated with you.
You still have my ear hook?
Yeah, I take it out of my pocket.
Why?
Souvenir. I think it's funny.
That's such a funny thing to just have. Imagine.
I also have this crystal found in the ghost place.
Imagine you turn to your
Hmm.
friend long after you stopped wearing earrings, and they just pull one of them out.
I lost that between my couch cushions
Uh,
years ago. Like, I
have an
found it
amulet.
years
dug
ago.
it out. I dug it out. It's mine.
I have another amulet. And another amulet. I got a lot of amulets hanging around.
Why do you have all those hanging around?
I picked them up.
I only have the one necklace. See,
Well,
it's this little locket. See, it's
actually,
got
no, this amulet is 2 amulets now.
got this smooth stone in it.
I mean, it's always 2 amulets. You can just attach them together.
So I have, I think, 4 separate amulets.
Hey, Guve, if you... Hmm.
You know,
What was that? If you died, what would you want me to take as a souvenir to remember you by?
sis.
Okay. If I die, take one of either my sword or the necklace, okay? If you want to remember me. If you don't, then you can just like
Believe
throw
me,
my
you're
body.
the only one out of this party who I currently want to remember.
You just like throw my body off a cliff.
Why? Why is that the go-to?
Well, if you don't want to remember me, you probably don't
Where am I
like
even
me
gonna
much.
find a cliff?
Hmm.
How much effort that's gonna take?
All right, fine. If you just leave me there to rot in the forest floor.
I'll find a ditch.
All right, that's pleasant. Let's go back to camp.
Party fucking sucks.
Hmm? Let me tell you, I'm glad you're at least with the rest.
Someone's gotta be not crazy. It isn't me, but someone has to be.
I think that's squarely my job.
I mean, you're now dealing with demons, so you know.
Is anyone that takes up adventuring as a profession fully sane?
Yes.
Could have fooled me.
So, return to camp.
Mhm.
How is Johnny doing?
Boy, it's dark.
It sure is.
It's dark, but nothing attacked your camp.
Sweet.
So, yep.
Ah,
But other than that misadventure,
thank goodness you're back safely. I fall asleep.
just two random strangers walk into the camp late. Oh, good, you're back. I'm gonna go sleep now. Did he just say he's gonna go to sleep?
You bet. Wake me up. Wake me up when you're done.
The bandits are just like, wow, they're making this easy.
We don't even
Half
need to
their
knock them
party
out.
is-
They're doing it on their own.
Half the party left to go drown themselves.
Another one? Yeah, second time this week.
So, yep. The remainder of your watch is already over. So,
Yeah, but they're taking the first fucking 30 minutes of mine.
yeah, but night passes uneventfully. And the sun comes up. And that is where we're going to end. So, poor Lumpy can go to sleep. And Theo can go to sleep if he wishes.
And we level up if we wish. Well, I do wish. Thank you, Mitchell.
No. Because she's leveled up not too long
And
ago.
we level down if we wish. I do wish. Thank you, Mitchell.
And we replace one party member of our choice. Oh, thank you, Mitchell.
No.
Can we just time skip to when we're next level?
Time skip.
We're not doing anything in the meantime, right?
No. Not at all.
It's not like there will have to be any intervening events before that happens.
That actually would be kind of sick, though.
Yeah.
Mitchell just puts us in the middle of somewhere, and we have no idea how we got there, what led up to it. He's just in the middle of a quest.
I'd be down.
You gotta go stop the Watcher. Only you know where he is. He's gonna set off the bomb. And it's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I'm recording.
I'm so happy we
As
still have
will
Yeko and Johnny, because this is great.
Huh?